Tian Xin, I have no surname. Those words are my name, the only thing I own. Yet not a single soul ever called me by it. As a kid, they called me trash. Growing up, that name changed to weed. And then eventually, bastard. When I reached adulthood, they started calling me the spear, the viper, and the demon. I climbed to the absolute peak and defeated them all. I was even granted the majestic title of Spear King. My clothes were just shredded rags, my daily meal a tiny potato, but that was enough. The only place I could ever call home was the battlefield. Witnessing his terrifying power, the crowd erupts into sheer panic. Monster? No, that's a real-life demon. Is he the rumored Spear King? He's getting closer. It's just one enemy. Brothers, don't be afraid. We just need to kill him and we win. The whole mob charges at once, spears thrusting forward, but Tian Xin easily leaps up to dodge. The guy who was screaming looks up, his face twisted in absolute terror. Before he can react, Tian Xin swings his spear, piercing straight through his head in a bloody mess. Seeing this, the rest go into a frenzy again. You bastard, die. Tian Xin shows zero fear, continuing to dodge and slaughter. Is this a born instinct or something forged through training? Even he doesn't know. Either way, he has taken countless lives with just a single spear in his hand, though he was the last one standing. The resentment and fury of the dead eventually closed in on him. His life never knew peace, and so, Tian Xin, the one they called trash, finally lost his life on the battlefield. That should have been the end of his story. But was it a glitch in fate? Or a destiny arranged from the start? He, who should be rotting in the dirt, has now been reborn in the body of a child. And just like that, the trash everyone mocked has returned to the past. Somewhere in the forest, a teenager sits under a tree, resting. He examines his body with suspicion. So, I didn't reincarnate as a baby. He lifts his head to glance at a mirror lying on the ground nearby, leaning in to inspect himself. Looks like I've been reborn as a teenager. If so, this must be back when I was still a grunt for the escort agency. The moment he stops speaking, a voice yelling "Bastard" rings out from behind, making him flinch. A fierce battle is raging over there. The sounds of clashing weapons and angry curses fill the air. Die, you scumbags. Protect the cargo at all costs. Don't lose a single crate. The two sides are mountain bandits and the Tiger Escort Agency. Tian Xin stands there, watching them fight to the death, and sighs. I can't believe it. I just got reborn, and I'm already stepping back onto a battlefield. Someone approaches him from behind, crushing the small mirror on the ground under their foot. With a ferocious look on his face and a spear in hand, he asks coldly, "What is a little brat like you doing here? Huh, I don't think you're an escort. Are you a servant?" Tian Xin calmly turns his head, analyzing the man. A bandit, they're forest thugs who ambush to rob and kill. But his eyes are trembling, and his body is stiff. Most of them are just mediocre amateurs. Seeing the boy just standing there staring, the bandit roars, "It doesn't matter if you're a servant or an escort. If you're with the agency, you die. All of you have to die." As he speaks, he swings his spear, thrusting straight for the boy's neck. Against all odds, Tian Xin remains terrifyingly calm. I knew it. Your moves are too predictable. Somehow, he snatches the long spear right out of the man's hands. Then, executing a movement technique, he shifts with incredible agility to counterattack. From start to finish, the opponent can't react at all. He just gets a spear rammed straight through his chest, blood spraying everywhere. Even in his dying moments, he can't believe it and gasps. You gotta be kidding me. Tian Xin, his killing intent fully exposed, gives a cold laugh. Even though I have no achievements right now, my martial arts have remained. That alone is more than enough, even if everyone looks down on the techniques I use. They even called it dark arts, but right now, I don't have any other choice. He turns to walk away, completely unnoticed that another enemy holding a bow is hiding behind a tree. He's still lost in thought, realizing he's returned to the past, when a sudden sound snaps him back to reality. The archer launches his attack. Die, you scum! An arrow flies straight at Tian Xin's head, slicing off a lock of his hair. Thinking he hit his mark, the archer grins ear to ear, unable to contain his joy. Serves you right, kid. Now I'm gonna live. But life isn't a dream. The moment the words leave his mouth, Tian Xin forcefully drives his spear straight through the attacker. His expression is ferocious, and he stands there completely unharmed after the ambush. I predicted an ambush, but seriously, is this it? Leaving an enemy alive on the battlefield is basically suicide. As he speaks, he gifts the archer a spear through the chest. Fresh blood sprays out like rain. Just like that, two bandits are skewered and hoisted up like kebabs. Finally, the spear feels like it has the proper weight again. This sensation, it feels exactly like the old days at the escort agency. Fresh blood splatters across the ground. Fighters from both sides freeze, faces tight with tension. What the hell is wrong with that guy? Look at him. Tian Xin walks through the crowd without a shred of fear, carrying two corpses skewered on his spear. No one dares block his path, scrambling to get out of the way. But soon, a voice booms out. What is going on here? Who is this lunatic? Listen up, I am the leader of the Mount Lu bandits. The speaker is a massive hulk of a man shouldering a giant axe. Tian Xin looks up at him, not scared in the slightest, and grins. I've been waiting for this. Seeing that attitude, the Hulk bursts into laughter. I'm gonna wipe that smile right off your face. He swings his axe, launching a ferocious attack. Tian Xin doesn't even flinch, simply sidestepping to avoid it. The Hulk grimaces and roars. You dodge like a sewer rat, but a split second later, true panic floods his eyes. Those two corpses on the spear are suddenly thrust right in front of his face, accompanied by Tian Xin's mocking praise. Your physical strength is impressive, I'll give you that. But is that all you've got? The Hulk stands frozen, taking Tian Xin's strike full on. His body is instantly sliced in two, blood exploding everywhere. Tian Xin glares, ignoring the fresh warm blood splattered across his face, and snorts coldly. Let me show you what a real attack looks like. The surrounding crowd completely loses their will to fight, collapsing to the ground in terror. He's a monster, stay away. Tian Xin calms his breathing and coughs, looking at the spear in his hand. Why does it feel so light all of a sudden? Immediately, he drives the spear tip into the dead Hulk's neck. Watching the bandit's faces twist in absolute horror, he lets out a satisfied sigh. Now, that feels much better. Miserable screams echo endlessly as Tian Xin stands there. Shouldering 3 corpses on his spear, the bandits panic and scatter in every direction. Run, he's a monster. And so, when blood meets the devil on the battlefield, the bandits are finished. Time has rewound 10 years. Right here on this mountain, the demonic cult has returned. Tian Xin smiles with pure delight. This is truly wonderful. Night falls deep in the forest, where a fierce battle is still raging on. Someone shouts, "Don't let a single one escape." Tian Xin is there too, radiating killing intent in the middle of the chaos. The escort agency fighters slash and scream like madmen. The wind is in our favor, kill every last bandit. The bandits don't back down, counterattacking frantically. The escort fighter who just shouted gets sent flying by a bandit's blow. The bandit fights left and right like a beast, roaring. You arrogant bounty hunters, who do you think you're trying to kill? Huh? If you think you've got what it takes, come and try it. Tian Xin glances at him, thoughtful. The vengeful spirits around him immediately answer his unspoken question. That's our former boss. Boss, come join us. Tian Xin realizes what's happening. Oh, so that guy is your leader. He's definitely a cut above those other small fry. The spirits beg him. The boss is strong. Please, take him in too. Tian Xin nods. Fine. I'll grant your wish. He will be swallowed up as well. A sinister smile spreads across his lips. On the other side, the bandit leader slashes wildly, completely unaware of the horror about to descend upon him. Hearing someone call his name mid-fight, he roars in anger. Who the hell do you think you are, calling me like that? Before he can finish, Tian Xin gives him a spear thrust that makes him jump out of his skin. He's knocked back, screaming in frustration. Damn it, who the hell are you? But facing Tian Xin's crushing killing intent and the gruesome sight before him, his anger turns to pure terror. What the hell is this? Who is this lunatic? Is he hanging a corpse on his spear? His face goes pale, tension rising until it breaks into absolute horror. Before his eyes, his comrades are dying miserable deaths, their ghosts screaming viciously. Why are you the only one left alive? Come here. Little brother. Tian Xin approaches with a face as cold as ice. The bandit is so terrified that tears stream down his face. His will to fight completely shattered. Who are you? A demon. The voices of the dead keep calling out to him. Come with us, little brother. His own desperate screams for help echo into the void. Help me, someone. Tian Xin stands there like a true devil. Behind him, the killing intent manifests into a physical form, jaws wide open to devour its prey. Finally, with one swift strike, the bandit's head is severed from his neck in a spray of blood. Tian Xin kills him decisively, without even blinking an eye. He had seen this exact scene 1,000 times in his past life. Speak the name 3 times, and you send a soul straight to the underworld. 3 calls. That's all it takes to drag a victim into the abyss of death. Been a while since I used this. So, that was why he kept chanting his opponent's name over and over. Flashback to the past. Deep in a mountain range, outside a hidden cave, a blood-soaked hand suddenly claws its way up the jagged cliff edge. The young man gritted his teeth, hoisting himself up while cursing internally. Damn it all, just because I'm a rookie? They dump all the suicide scouting missions on me. He hauled himself over the ledge, collapsed against a rock face, and gasped for air, his lungs burning. Lying army scum. They promised if I enlisted, I'd never starve again. But this is no different from being a slave. He sat there, muttering curses into the wind, completely oblivious to the pair of glowing red eyes staring at his back, watching him like a predator. But instinct kicked in. The hair on his neck stood up. He squinted into the darkness. Is something there? A tiger, a beast. No, whatever it is, looking back is a death sentence. That's something humans aren't meant to see. I won't die like a dog in a place like this. He repeated the mantra in his head, over and over. Don't look back. Don't look back. But then, a voice slithered into his ear. And what exactly are you struggling so hard to survive for? Your life is worth less than a maggot's. So, why not roll the dice? Who knows? This might be the only chance you'll ever get to change your pathetic fate. That broke him. He snapped his head around. Why the hell should I trust you? The old man in the shadows cackled. You've got guts, kid. What's your name? Tian Xin. He didn't hesitate. The old man leaned forward. What did you say? He repeated it, louder this time. I am Tian Xin. The old man pressed on. I'll ask you one last time. What is your name? Before he could answer, a hand crushed his throat, silencing him. Panic exploded in his eyes. He was terrified. In a single breath, he closed the distance. I didn't even see him move. Who the hell is this guy? The old man dangled him over the cliff's edge. If you want to kill someone, ask for their name 3 times. No matter how they answer, death will follow. This was the man who granted Tian Xin his power, his master. The living embodiment of evil in the martial world, the blood demon, Hong Gong. Scene shifts back to the present. Tian Xin was a whirlwind of violence, cutting men down without mercy. Yet, as the blood sprayed, he felt confused. This is strange. While he was lost in thought, a few suicidal bandits rushed him. Die, you monster! Tian Xin just stood there and sighed. It was bizarre. His mind, it was clearer than it had ever been. The demonic power Hong Gong gave me was incomplete. The seed took root in my dantian, and it should be rotting my bones and clouding my sanity. But instead I feel fantastic. And what changed? He closed his eyes. He could feel them countless demons swirling around him. The chi from his dantian surged, flooding every meridian in his body. A moment later, his eyes snapped open. That's it. The difference between now and the last timeline? I completely forgot about it after I joined the army. When I was a kid, I learned the breathing technique of the Meow tribe. The pieces clicked into place. That explains everything. That technique is keeping me sane. It's anchoring my consciousness. What a twisted stroke of luck. The blood demon's warning echoed in his mind. Until you fully master this power, you will lose your mind to the madness. Remembering that, a smirk tugged at his lips. If Hong Gong knew about this, I wonder what kind of face he'd make. He was lost in thought until a voice called out from behind. He turned, puzzled. A young woman stood at the front, flanked by the entire escort agency. They all bowed, fists cupped in respect. Thank you for saving us from certain death. As she spoke, her eyes narrowed, studying him. I knew it, she thought. He's just standing there, but the pressure radiating off him. It's terrifying. He slaughtered those bandits like they were nothing. I can't let a fighter like this walk away. Tian Xin looked at them, genuinely confused. What do you want? I don't understand why a master like you is working as a lowly porter for our agency, she said. But if it's not too much to ask, would you continue to escort us? To her shock, Tian Xin didn't even blink. He shot her down instantly. He turned his back on them. If that's all, I'm leaving. The woman's mind raced. No, I can't lose him. If he won't join willingly, then I have to play my trump card. She grabbed something from her robes and lunged at him. For a split second, it looked like an attack. Tian Xin spun around, ready to strike, but stopped. In her hand wasn't a weapon, but a gleaming golden command token. She held it out, her voice desperate. Please, take this with you. You must already know this, young hero. The Hujing sect runs this escort agency, and it is a prestigious clan here in the Anhui region. If you bring this token to the Hujing sect, you will be treated as a distinguished guest. Please, accept this small token of my gratitude. Tianjin stands there, staring blankly at the golden command tablet stamped with the 3 words, Hujing sect, lost in thought. On the side, there is a small inscription, Hujing sect first class escort, Zhou Lihua. He frowns, sinking into deep contemplation. The Hujing sect was once famous for its integrity and justice, but after a few years, it suddenly vanished without a trace. It truly is a tragic sect. With that thought in mind, he accepts the token. Seeing this, the woman beams with joy. Thank you, young hero. We will continue on our journey now. Once we finish our business, we will return to find you. Please, make yourself at home and don't stand on ceremony. Tenjin walks over and grabs the reins of a horse. Alright, by the way, can I borrow this horse? The woman looks panicked. Not that one, its temper is terrible, so we only use it to transport cargo. But the moment they see him mount the horse with such ease, they are instantly struck speechless. It actually became docile, but what happens next terrifies them even more. That violent horse, which no one could tame, and is so terrified by Tianjin sitting on it that it literally pees itself. The woman calms down after a moment and sighs. He knows how to ride at such a young age, Hudge. He truly is a monster. Someone behind her chimes in. Oh my, could this be love at first sight? He's exactly your type. Isn't he both strong and handsome? If he's also a fan of Hugo Review, then he's definitely our head escort's dream man. She spins around, furious and murderous, clutching her sword. You dare speak so rudely about our benefactor? Do you want to die? The young man panics and hurriedly explains. No, I was just joking. I'm really sorry. The woman is only scaring him a little. She has no intention of actually striking. She then sheathes her sword. You all might not have noticed, but I saw that person's spear technique. The one-eyed man asks, could he be the son of some famous spear-wielding family? She shakes her head. No, that wasn't martial arts. That was military spear technique. What's more, his level and realm far exceed his age. One Eye looks confused. Wait a minute, you mean... The woman nods in confirmation. Exactly. It is highly likely that the young hero is from a powerful military family, out on a training journey. With that personality, risking his life to save us, if he knew the situation of our sect, he wouldn't ignore it. Saying this, she can't help but let out a quiet sigh. We can only hope that the Hujing sect will be saved from the clutches of the Black Dao sect. Meanwhile, Tian Xin sits on the horse, watching helplessly as it keeps urinating. He threatens it. If you keep peeing, I'll cut it off so you can't pee ever again. Speaking of the Hujing sect, does it even still exist? Suddenly, a face flashes through his mind. I wonder how he is doing now. The person he remembers is Yu Rang. Hu Yurang was someone he met during his time in the army. He was the first person to be close to him in his past life, back when he was constantly bullied and beaten in the barracks. You little bastard, you think a rookie like you gets to eat without paying tribute? Tian Xin looks confused. Tribute? That is the first time I've heard of such a thing. The big guy barks back. Juniors must offer their dinner to seniors. That's the unwritten rule. If you don't want a beating, you better remember it well. The surrounding crowd laughs and cheers in agreement. Just then, another person walks up holding a rock. What a stupid request. If he is a rookie, then I only joined right before him. Why don't you try robbing my food instead? Seeing this, the bully clenches his fist, preparing to strike. You've got guts. Let me crush that pretty face of yours. But before he can even make a move, the young man smashes a potato right into his face. He doesn't stop there. The young man charges in, attacking him. Here, hold this and eat until you're full. That is, if you still have enough teeth left. The big guy is helpless as the young man feeds him a combo of punches right in the mouth. After who knows how long, the young man finally pulls back his hand, letting the bully collapse backward. Looks like that wasn't enough potato for you. If you want more, come here. I'll knock every single tooth out of your head. Even though the stranger helped him, Tian Xin feels no gratitude. Instead, he is confused and somewhat annoyed. Why interfere? The young man tosses him a potato. If you want to live, then eat. Tian Xin catches the potato, momentarily stunned and at a loss for words. That was how the two of them met. The young man eats as he smiles and asks, did you hear that I am your direct senior? He was the only friend, nay, the sworn brother of Tian Xin. He introduced himself as Hu Yu Rang, then asked for the boy's name. And then, one day, while Tian Xin was struggling in despair, the loud, booming voice of Yu Rang suddenly rang out. That was the day that bastard Hong appeared. Seeing Tian Xin being strangled and lifted into the air, Yu Rang screamed at the top of his lungs, let go of my brother right now, or I'll fire the signal flare. Even as the old man crushed his windpipe, drowning him in agony, Tian Xin forced out a desperate scream, begging him to run. Yu Rang didn't flinch. Gritting his teeth, he gripped the signal flare tight and roared at the monster to take his hands off his brother. Hong Gong raised an eyebrow, genuinely surprised. Fine, if that's what you want, I'll let go. But the moment his fingers loosened, Tian Xin's body plummeted helplessly into the abyss. Yu Rang's eyes went wide as a gut-wrenching scream tore from his throat. The old man smirked, glancing back. What's the matter? I did exactly what you asked. Are you satisfied now? Yu Rang's eyes went bloodshot with rage. You bastard! He was seconds away from firing the flare when Tian Xin's voice suddenly echoed up from below. Stop, Yu Rang. Hearing his little brother's voice, the young man froze and scrambled to the edge. Hong Gong just stood there, arms crossed, looking down like a god. Tian Xin wasn't dead. He had managed to snag a jagged rock jutting out from the cliff face, hanging on for dear life. He looked up at Yu Rang, desperate. I'm fine. Just run. Don't worry about me. Hong Gong shot the boy a threatening glare. I haven't decided to kill you yet, so shut your mouth and listen. I have a proposal for both of you. Bring me the herbs that can heal my internal injuries, and in exchange, I will grant you the power to survive in this cruel world. The brothers grimaced, clenching their jaws in frustration. His voice dropped to a chilling whisper. So what is your answer? They exchanged a glance. They had absolutely no other choice. In unison, they replied, we accept. Tian Xin quickly scrambled back up the cliffside. The old man turned and walked back into his cave. Let's see. Yes, I like that look in your eyes. He immediately began teaching them his secret cultivation technique. These entities are called the Changgui. They are the vengeful ghosts of those devoured by tigers. Enslaved. They become minions that lure other souls to their master to be consumed for power. The demonic art I created works the same way. You must absorb the resentment of those you kill to elevate your spiritual core. This technique is known as the Changgui manifestation. It has 3 stages: Kuge, Yiwu, and Yuhun. Each stage has 10 levels. When you reach Kuji, you will be able to emit demonic energy from your body like steam. At the Yiwu stage, your blood turns into a lethal poison. And when you finally reach the Yuhun realm, your demonic energy will erupt like fresh blood spraying from your veins. Once you master this, you can look down on the entire world, Righteous, evil, demonic, none of those labels will mean anything to you anymore. So carve my teachings into your very bones. Go to the battlefield and slaughter without mercy. Following his orders, the brothers plunged into war, killing with madness in their eyes. Surrounded by a massive army of enemies, back to back, they screamed in unison no matter what. They would survive. When they returned to Hong Kong, he gave his final command. This is my last request. The herb you must retrieve this time is the 100-year snow ginseng. Can you handle it? Tian Xin replied calmly. Of course, but Yu Rang cut in, panic in his voice. Wait, the 100-year snow ginseng is beyond our current strength, Master. Could you please help us open our Ren and Du meridians first? The Ren and Du meridians are the two most critical pathways in the body's energy system. They are like two great rivers, regulating the flow of yin, yang, and lifeblood. The old man narrowed his eyes, falling into deep thought, his intentions unreadable. Yu Rang pressed on. If you use the herbs we have now to clear our meridians, we'll actually stand a chance of retrieving that final ingredient for you. We will replace the herbs we use later. The old man closed his eyes, weighing the logic. Finally, he nodded. He agreed to the deal. Yu Rang immediately told Tian Xin to go first, but of course, the stubborn boy wouldn't listen. Yu Rang snapped, furious. Listen to me. Get your meridians cleared first. While you're doing that, I'll go collect the herbs and do mine later. Then you can go back for the second batch for me. That's going to be the hard part, you idiot. Tian Xin was speechless. Finally, he sighed, defeated. Fine, whatever. They bumped fists, sealing the promise. Time passed. Under a pouring rain, fresh blood streaked across the muddy ground. A figure, pierced by countless arrows and soaked in gore, dragged himself up the mountain path. It was none other than Tian Xin. Gasping for air with every step, he thought to himself, it's done. I have all the herbs. Master. Brother. Everything is going to be okay now. Everything should have been okay. But when he reached the cave, he froze. His eyes bulged in disbelief. His master's severed head lay on the ground. Nearby, Yu Rang, covered in blood, stared back at him. You're finally back. Yu Rang looked horrific, his body broken, clinging to the last threads of life. Tian Xin stood there, paralyzed by horror, his mind refusing to accept the scene. He threw the snow ginseng aside and sprinted into the cave. Collapsing beside his brother, he cradled Yu Rang's body and screamed. What happened? Why is it like this? Tell me what the hell happened. Yu Rang smiled weakly. Don't make such a fuss. You already know, don't you? Hong Kong never intended to let us live. We had to kill him before he killed us. It's as simple as that. Tian Xin snapped awake, his heart pounding. So, that's why you let me go first. His mind raced as he checked his body. His dantian was completely shattered, and his demonic energy had vanished without a trace. That idiot. He had planned to drag that old man down to hell with him from the very beginning. Yu Rang had looked at him with a weary smile back then. Hey, don't cry. Taking out a dying old geezer is nothing. His voice softened. Tian Xin, do you know why I saved you? Tian Xin had shaken his head. How could I possibly know? Yu Rang explained gently. It is because you were once a warrior of the Hu bodyguard agency. The truth is, I am the sole survivor of the Hu Jing sect. You once mentioned that you worked as a guard for the Hu bodyguard agency for a short time, didn't you? You also told me that the sect leader and his wife were good people. I think, from that moment on, I considered you my family. You were the only person who ever spoke well of my parents. I am so incredibly glad I met you. If you ever get the chance, please, avenge me. Those were Yu Rang's final words in his past life. The scene snaps back to the present reality. Remembering this, Tian Xin's grip on the reins tightened until his knuckles turned white. In this life, I will ensure that such regret never exists. First things first, I must prevent the destruction of the Hu family. I already saved the key figure of the Hu bodyguard agency, so the future might have started to shift, but that is far from enough. Soon, he arrived outside a magnificent, imposing estate. Is this the place? He quickly leaped from his horse. Seeing someone passing by, he called out. The young man stopped, his face clearly showing his annoyance at being disturbed. What is it? Tian Xin beckoned him closer. I need to ask you a few things. The stranger, furious at the interruption, threw something straight at Tian Xin's head. You little brat, don't joke with me. Who do you think you're talking to? Tian Xin's expression went ice cold. He reached out and grabbed the guy by the head, lifting him into the air. Even then, the guy remained stubborn, screaming without fear of death. You nameless little punk, where did you crawl out from? Tian Xin's voice dropped to a chilling whisper. Shut your mouth. His eyes flashed with a terrifying crimson light. Answer my question, now! Miserable screams echoed through the air. After beating the guy until he was bruised, swollen, and seeing stars, Tian Xin finally stopped to ask his question. It has been a long time since I came to Anhui. That manor over there belongs to the Hu Jing sect, correct? The young man, now thoroughly educated, knelt obediently on the ground. Yes. Yes, that's right, sir. Tian Xin asked again. The sect leader is Hu Yanyan, and his wife is Ye Zhiyuan, correct? The man nodded fervently. Yes, exactly right, sir. Tian Xin continued, and their son is Hu Yurang, right? This time, the man shook his head. No, that's wrong. Tian Xin froze, completely stunned. What did you say? Are you telling me their son isn't Hu Yurang? The young man nodded. That is correct, but... Tian Xin stroked his chin, confused. Don't tell me turning back time caused reality to diverge. That's impossible. I've checked everything else, and it all matches perfectly. So why is this one detail different? He grabbed the man's collar again, hoisting him up. You better be smart and tell me the truth. If I go in there and find a man named Hu Yurang, you're dead. If I find... Before he could finish his threat, the man hurriedly spoke up. Of course there is a Hu Yurang. Tian Xin paused, bewildered. What you just said there wasn't... The man stammered. Young hero, you asked if they had a son named Hu Yurang. How could I turn an unmarried young miss into a man like that? The Hu Jing sect has no sons. They only have one daughter. Tian Xin stood there, dumbfounded. Lady Hu Yurang is a girl. His mind violently rejected the idea. That is absolutely absurd. That Yurang was a woman. I could use my golden badge to enter the Hu Jing sect and verify this right now, but that would expose my identity and hinder my future plans. There must be a better way to handle this without blowing my cover. Just then, the gate creaked open. A man stepped out, and seeing Tian Xin, he immediately started shouting, You little brat, look at you, acting all leisurely. Huh, this is exactly why I can't trust you with anything. You homeless orphans are all the same. I told you to go clean the horse manure. Why are you standing out here? Without waiting for a reply, he grabbed Tian Xin by the collar and dragged him inside. Where are the other runts? Tian Xin didn't resist, letting the man drag him in. Homeless orphan, looks like there's a misunderstanding here. But this is actually perfect timing. He was quickly hauled all the way to the stables. Listen up and listen good. I am Wu Dongyuan, the stable manager of the great Hu Jing sect. Your only job is to clean the horse manure and feed the horses as I ordered. It's still better than rotting in the streets, isn't it? I already explained this to you 2 days ago. He glared. You do remember, don't you? Tian Xin replied nonchalantly. No idea. This answer made Wu Dongyuan explode with rage. You don't know. Not only is your memory trash, but your attitude towards your superiors is garbage too. Are you mentally challenged? You eat leftovers and sleep in a stable. How is that hard to remember? You lot are nothing but waste in this sect, but the sect leader took pity on you because you have nowhere else to go. So when you see hard work, don't you dare run away. Do it properly. Do you understand me now? Tian Xin ignored the screaming man and turned his head to look behind him. Suddenly, a warhorse in the stable went berserk, smashing through its enclosure and charging out. Wu Dongyuan takes a brutal hit. He hits the dirt, writhing in agony. The warhorse goes berserk, letting out a long, piercing neigh as it stomps relentlessly on Wu Dongyuan, watching from the sidelines. Tian Xin can't help but feel suspicious. Why did that horse suddenly charge? Where on earth did it come from? The crowd gasps at the scene. That's a high-tier steed for you, worth the price of a whole mansion, but clearly not easy to tame. Such a fiery temper. The guard smirks, turning to his boss. Young master, looks like one of the stable hands got injured. The young man lets out a cold, dismissive laugh. They're just a pack of dogs. Toss him a few coins for some booze and women. That'll shut him up. Seeing him, the stable hands whisper curses under their breath. It's that perverted young Master Zhao again. What the hell is he doing here today? Tian Xin watches silently, his mind racing. In my past life, Yu Rang said he was the puppet master behind the Hu Jing sect's collapse. He wrinkles his nose. But the stench of horse manure is unbearable here. I need to get inside, fast. The young man turns to leave with his subordinates. Just being looked at by these lowlifes makes me feel filthy. Just then, a figure approaches from the front. I heard we had guests, so I rushed over immediately. I didn't expect it to be young Master Zhao. What brings you to our humble abode? This old man is none other than the Hu Jing sect leader, Hu Yan Yan. The young man bows respectfully. There is only one reason. Father-in-law. Naturally, I'm here to visit my future wife. The old man's face darkens instantly. If you are referring to Yu Rang, I do not recall ever agreeing to such a marriage. The young man smiles with arrogant confidence. That may be the case for now, but I will undoubtedly marry Yu Rang the moment she turns 16. The sect leader grinds his teeth in fury, but the young man ignores him and continues, unfazed. The wedding between Yu Rang and myself will be held in a year. The whole region is already buzzing with the news. Even the village children are singing songs of celebration. The old man huffs coldly. I assume you are the one who spread those baseless rumors. Are you trying to ruin my daughter's future? The young man bursts into amused laughter. Haha, you have such a sense of humor. Sect leader. What is the Hu family compared to the mighty Zhao family? Do you really think we would go to such lengths just to marry a daughter of the Hu Jing sect? The old man is trembling with uncontrollable rage. What did you just say, you insolent brat? Suddenly, countless flower petals drift on the wind, accompanied by melodic voice. Fine. A young woman steps forward gracefully. In that case, there will be no marriage between our two families. The young man and his subordinates flush red, stunned by her sudden appearance. The old man sighs helplessly. The newcomer is none other than Hu Yunyun's daughter, Hu Yurang. So please, do not burden yourself. Go find another maiden. Her beauty leaves the young man completely mesmerized. But do you realize how dangerous these rumors can be? Yurang cuts him off sharply. There is nothing more to discuss. I have no intention of marrying you, or anyone else from the Zhao family, so please, leave this place. The young man snorts in anger. Your sect is on the brink of bankruptcy, yet you still hold your head so high, as arrogant as ever. His subordinate asks nervously, Young master, what should we do? He lets out a cold laugh. I only stopped by on my way to the brothel anyway. Let's go for now. He throws his arm around his lackey's shoulder and walks away, acting cheerful. But the rumors were true, the lackey responds. She's even more beautiful than they say. The young man grins maliciously. Now do you see why I'm so obsessed with beauty like that? She could bring ruin to an entire nation. The lackey nods eagerly. Calling her beauty legendary wouldn't be an exaggeration at all. The young man laughs with even more delight. But a pretty face without money or power, she's destined for a tragic fate. She's too beautiful to just be the daughter of the Hujing sect. Being born here is her curse. It's too late for her now that a villain like me has set his sights on her. The lackey chimes in gleefully. Truly pitiful indeed. The young man then mounts his horse. All right, to the brothel. But no matter how much he urges the beast, it refuses to move, leaving him baffled. What's wrong? Why won't it move? The lackey steps forward to check the animal's condition. Is something wrong? Is it sick? Suddenly, the horse begins foaming at the mouth in agony. It collapses instantly, throwing the young man violently to the ground. He screams in confusion. Why did the damn horse just collapse? Where are the stable hands? Not far away, Tian Xin watches from the shadows, clutching a dripping horse liver in his hand. The martial art he used to execute this the tiger claw style, the tiger rending technique. He glances silently at the two men outside. It's useless. I tore its liver out without leaving a single external mark. No one will figure out how it died, but he deserved it. Zhao Taifan is the cause of everything. Yurang once told me the Hujing sect fell because of a power struggle with the Zhao family, but in reality, he was the one pulling the strings from the shadows all along. Did Yurang know about this? Of course she did. That is exactly why she viewed her own beauty as nothing but a curse. The mere thought fueled his rage. He clenched his fist so hard that the liver inside it burst, completely pulverized. Now, I finally understand why Yurang burned her own face like that. Without wasting another second, he vanished from the spot. No more hesitation. It is time to avenge him. He unleashed his movement arts, gliding ghost-like across the rooftops. From this moment on, I take action. In the blink of an eye, he leaped onto a nearby tree, overlooking the path where Chen Taifan and his group were about to pass. Night fell over Song District, Anhui Province. Tian Xin walked through the streets, surrounded by the ceaseless noise of the city. Dinner's ready. Wait, you messed it up again. Get the hell out. Is that how you speak to your husband? Ignoring the domestic squabbles echoing from the roadside houses, he kept his pace steady. Soon, he arrived in front of a building marked with a massive, pitch-black seal. This shop was a place that sold various farming tools. Tian Xin looked up at the sign and sighed. It had been a long time. He pushed the door open and stepped inside. The man inside saw him enter and immediately asked, "Who are you?" Squinting his eyes, the boy stared at the old man and stated his name. The old man shook his head. Never heard of anyone by that name. I am retired, so get lost and go somewhere else. Tian Xin walked over and sat directly across from him. I know. I just need you to make me a hammer. The old man took a swig from his wine jar and asked, Are you serious? Tian Xin didn't hesitate. He immediately rattled off his requirements. 50 centimeters long, handle circumference of 12 centimeters, spherical head, weight not exceeding 10 jin. Hearing this, the old blacksmith started and glared at the boy with wide eyes. His face turned serious instantly. You can't hammer nails with something like that. Tian Xin's expression was equally grim. I am not using it to hammer nails. The old man calmed down and asked, Anything else? Tian Xin continued his serious explanation. 2 long spikes, 24 centimeters, wrapped in crocodile skin, and I want a heavy weapon. The old man asked, Sword, axe, or spear? Tian Xin immediately replied, A spear. As soon as the words left his mouth, the old man swung his stick and smashed it into a pile of junk nearby. Surprisingly, a spear was already standing there amidst the clutter. He pointed at it and said, That is the best piece I have got. It needs a day to sharpen the blade. Tian Xin nodded. Fine. Do you have any small, sharp weapons? The old man swung his stick again, striking a spot right next to the boy. Of course I do. Revealed inside were countless petal-shaped hidden weapons that looked incredibly sharp. Tian Xin recognized them immediately. Are those iron caltrops? All right, I will take them all. The old man asked again, Where should I send them? The boy replied that he would come to collect them himself. The old man nodded in appreciation. Kid, you have got guts. The stuff here isn't cheap, you know. Tian Xin didn't care. He kept a straight face and asked, How much? The atmosphere instantly fell into a heavy silence after his question. After a long pause, the old man grit his teeth and spoke. 3 days ago, my daughter died. Tian Xin frowned, listening silently without offering an opinion. The old man continued to glare, asking, Is there any way to bring her back? Even with the old man's hand gripping his shoulder, the boy's face remained calm, icy, and devoid of emotion. The old man sighed. You reek of blood, so I thought you were a demon. But it seems I was wrong. Forget it. Just kill the bastard who took my daughter's life from me. Tian Xin stood up. Who killed your daughter? The old man replied. The Heavenly Dao Gang. Tian Xin stood up and turned to leave. There are 4 of them known as the Black Dao Gang. Listen, get it right. Tian Xin radiated a burst of killing intent and replied, There is no need for me to know the names of my enemies. I am going to slaughter every last one of them anyway. Oh, right. Do you have any work clothes and poison? Hearing this, the old man sighed helplessly. Do you think a blacksmith shop sells things like that? Yet, he immediately pulled out a jar and tossed it to the boy. Next, he took off his outer coat and threw that over. It was made from the skin of a bear that had killed 74 people. And that jar contains a deadly poison from the Meow tribe. Though I haven't tested it, so I don't know if it is the real deal. Tian Xin didn't say much. He caught the garment, then bent down to pick up the jar of poison. As soon as the lid popped open, a wisp of green smoke drifted out. He immediately waved his hand to disperse it and exclaimed, Old man, you got scammed, didn't you? Hearing that, the old man ground his teeth in anger. I knew it, Tian Xin continued. However, I will still take it. It is not as potent as real Meow poison, but it is still useful. I will come back tomorrow to pick up the custom order. He was about to leave when he suddenly noticed a skeleton in the corner of the room. What is this? The old man explained. I used to use that to suppress wild beasts. Why do you ask? Is there a problem? Tian Xin crouched down to examine it, nodding in appreciation. Not bad. I will borrow this to use for now until my order is ready. Saying that, he quickly turned and left. The old man sat there, staring at the boys retreating back, and muttered, What a strange kid. Damn it. Could he actually be a demon after all? But whether he is a demon or not doesn't matter. As long as he avenges my daughter, even my life is a cheap price to pay. He burst into a fit of manic laughter. The scene shifts to the main gate of the Black Dao Gang. Outside, the guards were maintaining a strict perimeter, their eyes scanning the area with practiced discipline. Suddenly, a strange sensation washed over them. From the depths of the darkness, a lone figure began a slow, ominous approach. Who the hell is that? Hey, brat, we're in the middle of an important meeting here, so keep out. And what is that thing in your hand? It smells absolutely revolting. Get lost and go play somewhere else. Ignoring the threat completely, Tian Xin walked right up to the man. In a blink, he lashed out, striking with such force that the guard was reduced to a bloody pulp instantly. The young man died before he could even utter his last words. The others stared in horror, minds racing. Who is this kid? And is that a horse bone in his hand? Before the shock could wear off, the remaining 2 guards were also bludgeoned to death. Tian Xin looked at the horse bone in his hand, impressed. This is actually quite useful. In my past life, over half of the Black Dao Gang escaped during the raid. They regrouped and counterattacked later, causing countless deaths. But thanks to that tragedy, I memorized every single one of their escape routes. This time, I won't let a single rat survive. Murderous intent radiated from him as he stepped through the gates. Wherever he walked, only corpses and pools of fresh blood remained. In moments, the courtyard was cleared. The last survivor tried to run, only to have his skull crushed by the horse bone. Tian Xin continued his march toward the main hall. Just then, a voice boomed from inside. What is all that racket out there? Several men stepped out, their expressions turning to sneers when they saw the lone boy standing amidst the carnage. Just a little brat. Are you the one who caused this mess? You've ruined my nap, kid. The gang leader is with a guest, so I'll make your death quick. Tian Xin observed them, analyzing their strength. These 4 are all at the 2nd or 3rd rank. They must be the 4 elites of the Black Dao. One of them lunged at him, shouting, You arrogant little bastard. But before the man could land a hit, agony exploded in his face. His eyes were destroyed, tears mixing with blood. Tian Xin didn't stop. He charged the next target. Another elite fell, blinded and screaming in excruciating pain. Tian Xin didn't pause. The remaining 2 drew their swords and rushed him. Suddenly, Tian Xin hurled the bone. The one-eyed man couldn't react in time and took the heavy bone straight to the face. The bone spun through the air, completing a perfect arc before snapping back firmly into Tian Xin's grip. Tian Xin leaped into the air, driving a crushing blow down onto the blinded man writhing on the ground. The other elite gritted his teeth in fury. Damn it. He abandoned all defense, charging recklessly at the boy. I'll make you suffer just like them. But Tian Xin simply scoffed, stepping back to dodge the clumsy strike. You people always rob others, yet you never consider the possibility of being robbed yourselves. How laughable. He smashed a nearby vase, sending shards flying into his opponent. The man crumpled to the ground, clutching his head in agony. Tian Xin shook his head. Honestly, you can't even handle that much. I came here to rob you of your souls, not your money. With a sickening crunch, another elite was beaten into a bloody mess. The last remaining man was drenched in cold sweat, his mind racing. What is wrong with this guy? Even the Black Dao gang isn't this ruthless, and he stormed in here armed with nothing but a horse bone. Is he a monster? Tian Xin turned his cold gaze toward the trembling man. He stepped forward slowly. The man tried to raise his sword in defense, terror gripping his heart. But the moment he met those terrifying eyes, his will to fight evaporated completely. Tian Xin raised the bone, letting out a soft breath. Then, he delivered the finishing blow. The final elite couldn't escape his fate. His body broken and bloody. Lying there, he gritted his teeth and screamed, "Who the hell are you? Who sent you here?" Tian Xin's expression turned savage as he replied calmly, "The blacksmith." The man's eyes widened in shock. What a blacksmith? But before he could process it, blood sprayed from his mouth, and he joined his brothers in hell. Tian Xin stood over the corpses. The 4 elites are dealt with. That should cover the payment, right? Boss. The scene shifts to another location. A voice filled with disbelief echoed through the room. The mission failed. The patriarch was furious, and naturally, the young master was equally enraged. If you had successfully disguised the Black Dao gang as bandits and pulled off the attack on the Tiger Escort Bureau, we would have secured the stolen goods and collected the reward from the Zhao family. But you idiots ruined everything. Sitting opposite him was Qiu Yanghu, the leader of the Black Dao gang. Hearing the insults, Qiu Yanghu trembled with rage, but he couldn't utter a single word of defense. The man continued his verbal assault. The ambush failed, and we wasted so many men for nothing. Now we can't even provide the tribute for the evil Dao Alliance? What if the Autumn Gold Demon shows up? What do you plan to do then? Hearing that name, Qiu Yanghu's face went pale. He bowed his head low, sweat pouring down his face like rain. He thought desperately. It doesn't make sense. I sent enough men to wipe out the entire Tiger Escort Bureau. I don't understand how they were all slaughtered without leaving a single survivor. Because no one came back alive. We have no idea what actually happened out there. The young man slammed the table and stood up. You should have sent one of the 4 elites. Qiu Yanghu sighed heavily. I never imagined things would end up like this. If you idiots had reported the Hu Jing sect's true strength accurately from the start, we wouldn't be in this mess. The young man, who was about to leave, spun around with a cold sneer. So now you're blaming us. He slammed his hand violently on the table. Let me pound this into your thick skull if you screw this up again. Every single one of you dies. Do you understand? The older man held his head, sighing in defeat. I know. But the young man wasn't finished. If the Huju agency hadn't failed, the Hu Jing sect wouldn't be backed into a corner right now. And the young master's wedding wouldn't be delayed. That brat won't stop until he gets his hands on that girl. Qiu Yanghu couldn't take it anymore and roared, I said I know. Enough. Suddenly, both men sensed something outside. The tension in the room spiked instantly as they went on high alert. Sweat poured down Qiu Yanghu's face like rain. He thought, what was that sound coming from the entrance? The Black Dao 4 are supposed to be guarding that spot, aren't they? Cold sweat drenched both men as dread set in. Moments later, a silhouette slowly stepped through the doorway. The figure paused, glancing around the room. Then, the door was shoved fully open, and 4 severed heads, the Black Dao 4, were tossed inside, rolling across the floor. The 2 men stared in absolute horror. Those were the heads of the Black Dao 4. Don't tell me the Orthodox faction sent a top-tier master. Tian Xin stepped inside, his expression ice cold. His entire body was drenched in fresh blood, radiating a terrifying, murderous aura. The young man immediately threw his hands up to explain, Wait, I'm from the Zhao family. I have nothing to do with the Black Dao gang. I'm just here to negotiate. Hearing the name Zhao family, Tian Xin bit his lip so hard it drew blood. The young man kept babbling, desperate. Looking at this situation, it seems you're here to wipe them out. Please, let me help you. He didn't even finish his sentence before Tian Xin spat a mouthful of blood right into his face. He shrieked, clutching his face in panic. What is this? What are you doing? I told you, I'm from the Zhao family. I'm not with this Black Dao trash. His screams turned into agonizing howls of pain. Toxic smoke began to rise from the corner of his eye where the blood had hit. Tian Xin recalled the blood demon's words. Those who master this Shusek technique are known as Yiwu. To a martial artist, the blood of a Yiwu is a lethal poison. Remembering this, the corner of his mouth twitched up. It might not be as deadly as a true Yiwu's poison yet, but it burns just like chili powder, doesn't it? Furious, the young man drew his sword. What the hell is wrong with you? He slashed, but Tian Xin dodged the blade with ease. He thinks his skill is first class, but he's not on the level of the 4 heroes. The bone weapon in Tian Xin's hand began to emit a terrifying blood-red aura. Seeing this sight, the 2 men felt panic surge through them. They gritted their teeth, realizing what he was using demonic arts. The young man swung his sword again in a desperate attack. You're not from the Orthodox factions? You're a demon. Tian Xin ducked under the slash and swung his staff in a brutal counter. The young man was sent flying backward, his face twisted in pure terror. Tian Xin didn't stop. He smashed the staff down again and again, turning the man into a bloody mess. The more blood he saw, the more savage his expression became. With one final, powerful blow, he crushed the man's skull into pulp. Fresh blood pooled rapidly across the floor. Standing to the side, Qiu Yanghu was paralyzed with extreme tension, his mind racing. Beyond the morality of both the Orthodox and evil factions, they are the incarnation of demons. The the common enemy that the entire martial arts world must destroy. And such a monster has appeared here, in the Black Dao Gang. Demonic humans are just out-of-control monsters until they reach a certain realm. All they know is slaughter. While he's distracted with that Zhao guy, I need to sneak out and contact the Evil Dao Alliance. If I don't, the entire martial arts league is in danger. He had just triggered the mechanism to escape when Tian Xin's voice cut through the air. "You're Qiu Yang-hu, aren't you?" He froze in disbelief. Wait. He's rational. He practices demonic arts but still has his sanity. Is he a supreme master? Not only that, he's actually controlling the demonic chi. Realizing this, he dropped to his knees, begging for his life before Tian Xin's puzzled gaze. "Please, spare me. If you let me live, I'll do anything you want." Today is the deadline to pay tribute to the Evil Dao Alliance. If something goes wrong, I'll lose my head anyway. And you, great hero, you'll be in trouble too. Tian Xin stood there, frowning in thought. He's sharper than I thought. After a moment, he commanded, "Then cripple your own martial arts." Qiu Yang-hu looked horrified. "What cripple? My own cultivation." Tian Xin continued calmly, "You can refuse. I'll just kill you instead. Simple." He gritted his teeth. "Crippling my cultivation is no different from death. If that's the case, I have to strike first." But the moment his hand touched his sword hilt, Tian Xin moved. "I knew it. You're all talk." But the old man was no pushover. At the critical moment, he twisted his body just enough to escape death. He only took a grazing hit, bleeding slightly. After blocking that strike, he realized something: this opponent wasn't a supreme grandmaster, but merely a second-rate martial artist who dared to trick him. "You really have some massive guts, kid." Tian Xin sneered, mocking him. What a clown show. Demonic energy exploded from his body once again. Now it was easy time to purge the underworld filth. Qiu Yang-hu suddenly realized something terrifying. Impossible. Did he use that last move just to set a trap? Tian Xin stared cold daggers at him. "I should thank you. Normally, you'd be a tough opponent, Mom. But you outsmarted yourself, making this whole thing a lot simpler for me." The vengeful spirits around Tian Xin swarmed the old man's body, screaming and biting. "Die, come die with us." "Leader," he panicked, swinging his sword wildly in a frenzy. Tian Xin faced it without a shred of fear, blocking every strike with ease. In a flash, Tian Xin found an opening, spun around, and swung his bone weapon to counterattack. Getting hit again made Qiu Yang-hu furious. He grit his teeth and thrust his sword forward, but Tian Xin easily sidestepped the attack once more. The gang leader's face twisted in pain and confusion, his mind reeling. What kind of freakish movement is this? He's as agile as an assassin, yet stands as solid as a martial grandmaster. His footwork is ghostly and unpredictable. He strikes from the blind spot instantly. He's like a demon on the battlefield. While he was lost in shock, Tian Xin's attack landed again. A solid blow smashed directly into his body. He had zero chance to dodge. He couldn't stand up anymore, left only to lie there, groaning in hopeless despair. Tian Xin suddenly reached out and snatched a piece of paper drifting in the wind to read it. "You kidnap women to sell to the Red Pavilion, then use that money to expand the Black Dao Gang. And just how much did you loan Shark to the Tiger Escort Agency?" The old man lifted his head, begging desperately. "Great hero, I was wrong. Please spare me. I swear I won't tell a soul about this." The only response he got was Tian Xin's terrifyingly cold stare. "How many?" the old man asked, confused. "What do you mean?" he stammered. I asked. "How many people have begged you for their lives?" The old man screamed in despair. "I beg you, please forgive me. I'll do anything you ask. Just please spare my life." Tian Xin ignored the screaming. He lit a fire, tossing it onto the building, then raised the bone weapon high. Maybe this will ease the suffering of the Tiger Escort Agency a little. Hearing this, the old man suddenly jolted with realization. Wait, the Tiger Escort Agency, is that the cause of all this? But his realization came too late. The moment he understood was the moment he died. The final member of the Black Dao Gang perished at Tian Xin's hands. The evil spirits quickly returned to Tian Xin. Only then did he finally breathe a sigh of relief. So that was Qiu Yang-hu, leader of the Black Dao Gang. Seems he was worth a bit of value after all. As he walked out, panicked voices erupted nearby. "Over here! Shanghai brothers! Hurry up! Someone's coming out!" "Who is this brat? Who cares? Just kill him and figure it out later." Tian Xin glanced at them and sighed wearily. "Looks like it's going to be a long night." Soon, the sun began to rise. The streets were buzzing with people gathering in groups to gossip. "Hey, did you hear the wild news from last night? Everyone's losing their minds. Have you guys heard yet?" "I heard it from someone who used to work for the Black Dao Gang. The entire gang was wiped out last night. Their whole estate burned to the ground." The crowd erupted in excitement. "Is that true? Serve them right." The source confirmed. "It's true. Our Hujing sect has suffered so much because of them. The Black Dao Gang bought our debt from the bank just to torment us. Not only that, they'd come and harass us right to our faces. But thanks to this, that debt is gone forever. This is the best thing that could happen to Hujing sect." The crowd grew even more hyped. "That's amazing. I wonder which great hero destroyed them. Truly a hero of Qing'an." Suddenly, a man glared at Tian Xin and shouted, "Hey, new guy, have you finished shoveling the horse manure yet?" Tian Xin, who was napping nearby, jolted awake. The man stomped over, his face scrunching up. What's with that attitude, huh? You got a problem. Tian Xin's veins popped with annoyance. So annoying. Should I just whip out the golden token? Wait, better not. I need to avoid attention until the issue with the Zhao family is resolved. The man leaned in close, gritting his teeth. Enough. I've been tolerating you for too long. When I speak, you listen. Just as he was about to beat Tian Xin to a pulp, a voice rang out from behind. Hey, you two. The young man turned around in panic. That voice. Someone walked in. Don't go bullying the new guy. Understood. Tian Xin stares at the person in front of him, completely dumbfounded, his eyes wide as saucers. She just keeps rambling on. I'm not really used to your traditions yet, but shouldn't newcomers be treated with a little care? This person is none other than who you rang? The young man's face turns pale as a sheet, sweating buckets from the tension. Miss, please, it's not like that at all. This brat, I mean. This kid here just won't listen to a word I say. Who you rang gently reminds him. He's still young. It's probably his first time doing this kind of work, so have a little patience and teach him properly. The young man argues back, but he's just a drifter. Give it a while and he'll run off somewhere else anyway. She turns serious, lecturing him. People say even brushing past each other is fate, right? So you have to learn to cherish those connections. No one knows what life holds. Maybe one day, you'll meet again in a place 10,000 miles away. And by then, you might even become family. Listening to her speech, the men pull long faces, thinking to themselves, like there's any chance we'd ever see this guy again. 10,000 miles away, we're in Anhui province. How far could he possibly go? She ignores their reaction, turning back to ask Tian Xin, you're new here, right? If anyone bullies you, just tell me, okay? Tian Xin is left even more dazed by her attitude. Her face and voice are completely different from his memories. Yet, those clear, innocent eyes remain exactly the same. Yurang hasn't changed a bit. Thinking this, the corners of his mouth uncontrollably curl up. He looks at her with dead seriousness. And you, miss. If anyone ever bullies you, tell me. His words don't just stun her, they send the other guys into a panic. You idiot, how dare you speak to the young miss like that? Yurang bursts into happy laughter and nods. I understand. I'll remember that. Tian Xin smiles, satisfied. Soon enough, night falls, and the stable descends into silence. A figure pushes the door open and enters the room. Beneath a layer of dry hay lies a vast arsenal of weapons. Tian Xin quickly straps them all onto his body. The escort agency's grudge is settled. From now on, it's time to hunt down the one who killed my sworn brother. Next stop, the Zhao family estate. The guards outside are on high alert, strict as ever, but Tian Xin slips past them without being detected at all. He infiltrates the estate with absolute ease. Suddenly, one guard notices something and turns his head. Did I just hear a noise? He has no idea Tian Xin is already right behind him, blade against his neck. While he's still squinting suspiciously at the bushes, blood sprays out like rain. Tian Xin finishes him off so fast the guy can't even react, let alone scream. He silently drags the corpse into a dark corner nearby. A moment later, he steps back out. He's now wearing the guard's uniform, perfectly disguised. Ahead, two maids are chatting. Security is really tight tonight, isn't it? Well, the Black Dao gang was wiped out in a single night, but that doesn't have anything to do with us, right? Tian Xin walks past, lost in thought, his expression deadly serious. Using a special ability, he locks onto the surrounding guards, monitoring their every move. Taking advantage of a blind spot, he snaps his fingers, flicking something through the air. A small, compact hidden weapon lands right at the feet of a nearby guard. As soon as the guard lifts his foot, he steps right on it. The young man cries out in pain. Damn it! What the hell is this? At that exact moment, Tian Xin moves. While the guard is bent over trying to pry the object off his foot, Tian Xin smashes him right in the head. Having dealt with him, he immediately leaps up, vanishing onto the rooftop. Another guard sees his partner suddenly sit down and looks over, confused. Hey, what are you sitting down for? We haven't even had our meal break yet. And he's so focused on his friend that he doesn't notice the rice ball in his hand has just been laced with a lethal poison. The other guy has already been taken out by Tian Xin, so no matter how much he calls, the body just sits there motionless, oblivious. The young guard grits his teeth and takes a huge bite of his rice ball. Bastard. Finishing it, he walks toward his partner. Hey, are you listening to me? I'm talking to you. But after just a few steps, blood sprays from his mouth. He looks down in horror as blood starts bleeding from all 7 orifices. What the hell is happening? He collapses instantly, dead before he hits the ground, shocking everyone nearby. Someone runs over to check and screams. What the hell is this poison? You have to be kidding me. Go arrest everyone in the kitchen and seal the main gate. Don't let anyone leave. Meanwhile, Tian Xin is perched on the roof, observing the chaos. He silently evaluates his arsenal. The craftsman's work is just as good as ever. Not bad at all. I like it. Test run complete. Now, time to pay them a visit. The Zhao family. That name ends tonight. With that thought, he launches himself toward the massive main hall inside. Inside the pavilion, soldiers are stationed in tight formation, constantly patrolling and are you kidding me? We have to guard every single door just because of some Black Dao gang rumor? Right on cue, the window rattles, drawing every eye. but it's a decoy. Tian Xin blasts through the door and crashes in. Panic erupts. Cold sweat drips as swords are drawn. What the hell is that, an intruder? No, an assassin, but they're too slow. Tian Xin strikes before they can even flinch. His speed is invisible. By the time he stops moving, 3 heads slide off their necks and hit the floor. Thud, thud, thud. A guard upstairs hears the commotion. Did you hear something? Sounds like it came from downstairs. Tian Xin strides up the steps like he owns the place. The sentry spots him. Hey, aren't you on the 4th floor? What was that noise just now? The family head is asleep. Keep it down and tell those idiots below to shut up. He pauses, blinking. Something's wrong. Wait. Why are you holding a spear instead of a sword? Tian Xin doesn't explain. He stomps. Crack. The floorboards shatter beneath him. Using the debris as a launch pad, he lunges. The spear pierces the guard's chest instantly, so fast the man couldn't even raise his hand. The other 2 whip around, terrified. Enemy attack. It's an assassin. Tian Xin flows like water. He spears one guard while simultaneously drawing a hammer to crush the other's skull. It happens in a split-second total slaughter. Footsteps thunder from below. Reinforcements are swarming up. Hurry, capture him. Damn it, where did this guy spawn from? And where's the rest of our squad? Why aren't they here? Tian Xin ignores the noise. He flicks his wrist, sending dark objects flying. The 2 charging guards instantly freeze, faces twisting in agony. Caltrops litter the floor. They stepped right into the trap, unable to move. They collapse, screaming helplessly. My leg, arg, when did he plant these? You dirty, underhanded rat. Tian Xin couldn't care less. Spear in one hand, hammer in the other, he finishes them off efficiently. Drenched in blood, he marches forward. Suddenly, a voice booms from the room ahead. You are being too noisy. Tian Xin freezes, tension knotting his stomach. That voice, it carries terrifying internal power. This guy is in a whole different league from that trash Chu Yang Hu. The door creaks open. An old man steps out quickly. A long sword hangs at his waist, and he moves with eerie, casual grace. Even uninvited guests should have basic manners, don't you think? Tian Xin glares, hatred burning in his eyes. Finally, the monster who slaughtered countless innocents for profit. The man who turned Yurang's life into a living hell. The head of the Zhao family, Zhao Xiangzi. He stands there, cold as ice. It is late. What business do you have here? Tian Xin doesn't flinch. He looks the old monster dead in the eye, defiant. Zhao Xiangzi, you are the head of the Zhao family, correct? The old man's energy flares. He scoffs. Watch your tongue, you arrogant little brat. Where did you crawl out from? You certainly don't look like a disciple of the Orthodox sects. Are you from the Nai Luo Valley, the Saber Society, or perhaps the Black family? Tian Xin analyzes the aura. His internal energy is erratic, twisted, but razor sharp. This isn't going to be an easy fight. After a beat, he drops a name. Hujing Gate. The old man's eyebrows shoot up. Oh, raised by the master of Hujing Gate. Were you? Hard to believe. A man like him? Capable of raising a tiger like you? What is your relationship to that sect? Tian Xin shrugs. A guest? A servant? No. Let's just say I was the guy cleaning the stables. The answer stuns the old man for a second. Then, a creepy grin spreads across his face. He is amused. I see. So you have no intention of telling the truth? Fine. It doesn't matter where you came from. You have thrown yourself into the lion's den. Killing you without another word seems like the polite thing to do. Don't you agree? Tian Xin closes his eyes, savoring the moment. Seeing Zhao Xiangzi alive, this is a fresh feeling. In my past life, by the time I arrived, this old bastard had already died of old age. Yurang died swallowing her tears, regretting that she never got her revenge. But this time is different. Yurang, I am ending this for you, right here. Eyes snapping open, he grips his spear. Time to dance. The 2 warriors lunge, weapons colliding with a deafening clash. Just one exchange, and the old man's face changes instantly. The amusement is gone, replaced by pure shock. He took the brunt of the impact. The recoil sends the old master skidding backward across the room before he finally regains his footing. He stares at the boy, rattled. What dark art is this? Why do I sense the Zhao family's secret technique in your movements? Tian Xin takes a deep breath. Suddenly, the wails of countless vengeful spirits and a thick, suffocating killing intent explode around him. Why do you think, he thinks to himself, power surging through his veins? My power has already hit the 9th level of the Kyugi art. I am his equal, a martial master at the absolute peak. The deciding factor between a man living his second life and his opponent is simply the gap in experience. Zhao Xiangzi swings his blade once more, desperate to seize the initiative. But did he really think Tian Xin would fall for such a basic move? With a slight shift of his body, the boy dodges the strike, immediately swinging his spear for a powerful counterattack. The old man blocks the blow, eyes widening in appreciation. Not bad footwork, kid, but that alone won't be enough to take me down. As he speaks, he slides his blade right down the shaft of the spear. Friction ignites a shower of sparks, shooting straight toward the boy's face. The old man smirks internally. What will you do now? Even you will go blind if these sparks hit your eyes. But contrary to his expectations, Tian Xin doesn't dodge. In fact, he doesn't even blink. He simply lets the sparks fly straight into his open eyes. Yet, as they strike his pupils, it is as if they have hit a sheet of steel bouncing off harmlessly without leaving a single scratch. The sight leaves the old man completely dumbfounded. What the hell is this kid made of? Tian Xin gives him no time to process the shock. He thrusts his spear instantly, and a spray of fresh blood paints the air. Xiao Shangzi lets out a miserable shriek. He clutches the wound on his neck, his voice trembling. You are scarier than I thought, you little brat. My head was almost severed from my neck just now. But you nearly had your guts spilled out too. It was a trade-off, a strike for a strike. Tian Xin's side is also gushing blood from a nasty sword wound. The boy reaches behind his back, fumbling for something as he calculates his next move. The old man's attack range is huge, and combined with his veteran experience, he is a nightmare to deal with. Finding an opening to win this will not be easy. Suddenly, he flings a handful of hidden projectiles. The old man twists to dodge, letting out a surprised gasp. You use ranged weapons too. Tian Xin doesn't answer. He just swings a massive hammer straight at the old man's skull. Seeing the attack, the old man sighs. Still this stubborn, huh? He weaves aside to avoid the crushing blow. Now I know what kind of lunatic trained you. If you surrender now, I will make sure you are put to good use. Tian Xin just snorts coldly. You slippery old fox. He talks a big game, but his hands are already prepping the next dirty trick. Up ahead, the old man stomps violently on the floorboards, shattering the ground beneath them. Tian Xin starts, realizing the trap too late. The old geezer uses a bizarre movement technique, closing the distance in a blink to launch a frontal assault. Tian Xin blocks the sword strike, but looks down in panic. His foot is wedged tight in the broken floorboards. He grits his teeth, cursing under his breath. Damn it! The old man lunges again with a cold laugh. This is the end. He drives his sword straight into the existing wound on Tian Xin's side. The old man pauses, genuinely surprised. Not even a scream. You really are something else. That is some grit you have got. You are worlds apart from my useless son. That boy gets a paper cut and lies in bed screaming for days. That is exactly why he needs a strong wife to keep him in line. I don't know how much time I have left. I just want to see my grandchild's face before I go. He is gloating, until suddenly, Tian Xin grabs the blade with his bare hand. The old man's face twists in pure horror. The boy stares him down, face stone cold. You don't know how long you have left. The old man yanks at his sword, but it won't budge an inch. Why won't it move? No matter how strong his grip, keeping a blade immobilized like this should be impossible. Is this brat? Is he clamping the blade with his actual ribs? He is absolutely out of his mind. Did he expose that weakness earlier on purpose just to trap me? The more he thinks, the more terrified he becomes of this monster. Tian Xin speaks again. I will tell you exactly how much time you have left. The corners of the boy's mouth curl up in a sadistic grin as he calls the old man's name. A suffocating, terrifying killing intent erupts from his body. The old man stammers, paralyzed by fear. What is this monstrous pressure? Only one thought screams in his mind. Run, get away, now. Am I actually afraid? Tian Xin calls his name again. Panic sets in. The old man grips the hilt with both hands, desperate to pull it free. I have to get this sword out. I need to put distance between us. But by the third time Tian Xin speaks his name, the boy no longer looks human. To the old man's eyes, he is a demon King Yama himself, come to claim a soul. The old man collapses, his entire body going limp with terror. He loses all will to fight, letting go of the sword as an invisible force tears at his mind. Agonized screams tear from his throat, echoing through the room. Tian Xin wastes no time. He drives his spear straight into the old man's body. The sharp pain snaps the old man back to reality. What the hell was that just now? An illusion created by pure killing intent. How can a brat like you possess such terrifying internal power? Tian Xin doesn't answer. He just laughs coldly, grits his teeth, and twists the spear deeper into the wound. You may boast more experience, but it's nothing but staged sparring matches. The old man's wretched screams echoed once more. Tian Xin gripped the man's shoulder and let out a cold snort. A death match between grunt soldiers? Compared to the hell I was dragged into, and the slaughter I committed with my own hands just to survive until tomorrow, this is child's play. With those words, he ripped the spear back, letting fresh blood spray from the man's body. He spun around, tossing the spear aside, and walked over to pick up a battle axe. Knowing his end was near, the old man scraped together his last ounce of strength to beg, My son, just spare my son, please, don't kill him. Tian Xin coldly raised the axe, giving a blunt refusal. No! Blood sprayed like rain once more. After torturing him for a while, he retracted the axe with a chilling sneer. Guess you won't be seeing your grandkids after all. He then began channeling his energy to heal his injuries. Just then, the demon swirling around him turned and shrieked frantically. Hey, over here, it's this smell. They found the scent. Tian Xin stepped into the room, his eyes scanning the area. His gaze quickly locked onto a large urn in the corner. The demons had noticed it too. Here, in here. He walked over and smashed the urn to pieces, revealing a figure inside, clutching his head in terror. "Young master, I found you." The young man scrambled back in panic. "Don't come over here, someone save me." Tian Xin sighed inwardly. So many innocent people suffered just for this piece of trash's desires. He reached out, grabbed the young man by his hair, and hauled him up. "Looks like you've still got the energy to scream, huh? Born into wealth and power. Did you think that made you the center of the universe?" The young man gritted his teeth, snot and tears streaming down his face like rain, unable to even utter a plea. Tian Xin continued. "Great, let's make you the center of attention. Then, you'll love this. Tonight, you're the main character." The young man's miserable screams rang out endlessly. The long night finally passed, and notices were soon posted all over Anhui province. The notice stated that the righteous Zhao family had colluded with the corrupt Black Dao gang, so an executioner had carried out justice on behalf of the victims. The common folk began to buzz with gossip. What the hell is going on? The Black Dao gang and the Zhao family were both wiped out. I heard some hidden master killed everyone except the servants. Oh, good riddance. Those monsters dared to play dirty with the Hujin Gate. They finally paid the price. But who did it? Both Chou Yanghu and Zhao Xiangzi weren't exactly weaklings. "I heard this from a maid at the Zhao estate," one man said, sparking excited whispers. "With a face like yours, you actually know that many women impressive." The young man snapped. "Shut up," he continued. "Apparently, the hidden master called Zhao Xiangzi's name 3 times before killing him." A skeptic asked, "He's not a messenger from hell, so why call his name?" "And 3 times. At that, the chubby man explained seriously. "Rumor has it that after his name was called the 3rd time, Zhao Xiangzi was so terrified he cried and begged." The other 2 turned pale. "What? That's terrifying. Calling his name 3 times to drag him down to the Yellow Springs? Is the Hujin Gate next?" Just then, someone shouted from behind, making the 3 young men jump out of their skins. Scene shift. Yu Rang was deep in thought as she rode her horse. 3 calls to Yellow Springs. That's what everyone is calling the high expert who destroyed the Black Dao gang and the Zhao family. Even though they were bad people, I still feel wrong rejoicing in their misfortune. But I wonder, could that expert be a demonic cultivator? It's scary, but I'm so curious. Why did he only do things that benefited our Hujin Gate? Suddenly, a thought startled her. Could it be the person Li Hua mentioned in her letter? She recalled the letter's contents. "Thanks to the help of a wandering hero, we protected the escorts and goods from the Green Forest bandits' attack. I gave my gold badge to that hero so he could visit the Hujin Gate. Please treat him well, my lady." Remembering this, her suspicion deepened. But Li Hua, no guest with a gold badge ever came to visit. Just then, the person leading her horse pulled the reins tight, snapping Yu Rang out of her trance. I was too distracted. Where are we? It was a lake surrounded by a lush green forest, a scene straight out of a poetic painting. Seeing this, Yu Rang let out a delighted "Whoa!" She turned to Tian Xin with a smile. "How did you know I love lakes? Did I tell you before?" Tian Xin nodded. "You did." Yu Rang was surprised and started racking her brain. Really, since when? Tian Xin kept a straight face, thinking to himself. In your past life, whenever she was troubled or her mind was a mess, she would sit by the lake. He then reached into his robe and pulled something out. This confused Yu Rang. What is that? He used a fire starter to light the object and placed it on the railing by the lake. Only then did Yu Rang realize what it was. It's insect repellent incense. I do love hanging out by the lake, but these bugs are a total nightmare. You are surprisingly attentive for a rookie, though. Have you done this kind of work before? Tian Xin was startled, but he quickly replied with the proverb, "A scholar dies for his soulmate." It implies that a true warrior is willing to sacrifice their life for the one who truly understands them. He gazed out at the distant lake and sighed emotionally. If you treat me as family, then I will treat you as family too. Yu Rang froze, completely stunned by his words. After a moment, she smiled, regaining her composure. It seems like you have a past. I won't pry. But as long as you stay at the Hujing sect, we are family. Tian Xin looked up at her, silently recalling memories from his past life. In that gloomy cave, Yu Rang had asked him, Tian Xin, do you know why I saved you? It is because you used to be a warrior of the Tiger Escort Agency. You once said the sect leader and his wife were good people. I think from that moment on, I already considered you family. The image of them holding hands in the past life and this one overlapped perfectly. But just then, the stable boy appeared, shouting for the young miss and shattering the romantic atmosphere. He yelled loudly that the escort team had returned. Hearing this, Yu Rang immediately lit up with excitement. Really? She immediately tightened her grip on the reins and spurred her horse forward, but before dashing off, she turned back to speak to Tian Xin. Sorry, but I have to go. There's going to be a huge feast tonight, so make sure you save some room to eat. She rode off, leaving Tian Xin standing there in surprise. The chubby servant chased after her, gasping for air and screaming, Young miss, wait for me. Tian Xin stood there, smiling as he muttered, This isn't too bad, is it? The scene shifts to the Hujing sect. Even though it was midnight, Yu Rang's room was still lit. She was sitting diligently at her desk, her face clearly showing melancholy as she recalled earlier events. I know the martial arts world is a place where the big fish eat the small fish. If you want to be kind, you aren't allowed to be weak. Because only when you are strong enough can you hold your ground. Only then are you qualified to uphold your own beliefs. Father ended up like that, and now it is my turn. Thinking this, she looked toward the scroll lying on the table. It was an admission notice for the Martial Arts Alliance Ascending Heavens Academy. This academy is directly run by the Martial Arts Alliance. It is where geniuses aged 16 to 18 come to study and train, eventually becoming the future leaders of the martial world. She held her head and sighed. I only took the test secretly just to try. Who knew I would actually pass? I wanted to graduate and use that experience to revive the sect. But the problem is that massive tuition fee. If only I had that money. She paused, her mind drifting to the banquet tonight. But she quickly shook her head vigorously. No, using that money to save the Hujing sect from destruction is already lucky enough. I shouldn't be greedy for more. She walked over and pushed open the window, sighing. Maybe I should go out for some fresh air. At least that might make me feel a little better. But the moment she stepped out, the sky poured down heavy rain. Yurang led her horse, looking up at the sky in frustration. Feel better? Why does even the weather have to torture me like this? This is really too much, she screamed in annoyance, while the warhorse beside her shook its mane in pure delight. This made her even more irritated. What is with you, Abong? You are the only one enjoying this. I feel like I'm about to die here. Wait. Suddenly, she sensed something. What was that sound? Let's go check it out. Ah, bong! She started running, but after just a few steps, she froze. Stretched out before her eyes was a long trail of blood. It is blood! And a massive amount of it, too. Who could it be? Of course, that person was none other than Tian Xin. He stood facing her like an evil god. Yurang stammered, asking, Sir, are you human or a ghost? Tian Xin replied calmly, as the young miss can see. Hearing this, Yurang immediately concluded, So, you are a ghost. Tian Xin's face fell instantly, confused. He looked down to inspect himself. Yurang realized he was actually human. Seeing him turn to leave, she shouted, Wait, please hold on a second. She then tossed a cloth bag toward him. This is gold wound medicine. It is not expensive, but if you need it, please take it and use it. I don't know what happened to you, and I can't just casually interfere in the grudges of martial artists, but I can't just close my eyes and walk away when I see someone suffering right in front of me. If you don't like it, just throw it away and leave. The corners of Tian Xin's mouth curled up. He bent down and picked up the cloth bag. Then, he tossed something back to her. Seeing the bloodstained bag flying at her, Yurang panicked. Why? What is happening? Before she could finish, Tian Xin cut her off. Young miss, put that on your horse. As soon as he spoke, his figure faded into the night. No matter how much Yurang called out, it was useless. She stared nervously at the bag. What is in this bag? Looking at the size and the smell of blood. Could it be a human head? If that is true, I need to confirm it and report it to the authorities. Thinking this, she suppressed her fear, closed her eyes, and reached out to open the bag. She froze, blinded by the dazzling light radiating from the alley. This was the loot the staff demon stole today. It's the Tiger Sanctum's money. Snapping back to reality, she whipped her head around to find Tian Xin, but he'd already vanished into the shadows across the street. She scrambled to catch up. Sir, wait. How did you get this? She shouted, but the moment she rounded the corner, her eyes widened in shock. Tian Xin was gone, vanished using his light footwork. All that remained was a trail of gold and fresh blood splattered on the ground, leaving Yurang standing there completely bewildered. Just who are you? Meanwhile, Tian Xin had reached his limit. He didn't make it far before his legs gave out, and he collapsed heavily onto the dirt. But survival instinct kicked in instantly. He sat up, eyes sharp, gripping his axe and hidden weapons, ready to kill. A human presence at this ungodly hour. Who the hell is it? It was none other than Dong Yuan. Tian Xin frowned, confused. Seriously, this guy again? I'm really not in the mood for your games today. But Dong Yuan just bounded over, grinning like an idiot. Hey, where have you been hiding? Tian Xin scoffed internally. So annoying. Maybe I should just kill him and be done with it. But then, Dong Yuan did something unexpected. He grabbed Tian Xin's hand with deep affection. My savior, I've been looking everywhere for you. The meat and rice cakes I brought are going to get cold. Tian Xin sighed. Great. He's annoying in a completely different way now. Suddenly, Dong Yuan flinched. Wait. Look at you who did this. Which bastards beat up my savior like this? I don't care who they are. I'll declare war on them right now. Tian Xin shoved him away, annoyed. You're too loud. Shut up and go to head escort Joe. I need herbs. Now. Dong Yuan looked confused, but nodded anyway. Okay. Tian Xin didn't waste a second. He rattled off a list. Poria Cocos, Dragon's Blood, Persimmon Calyx, Fenugreek, Flaxseed, Piper Cubeba. And on and on. Dong Yuan scribbled furiously, sweating bullets. Wait, that's too much. Where am I supposed to get all this stuff right now? Tian Xin slumped onto a pile of dry hay, exhausted. I already told you. Go to Head Escort Joe. She has them. Dongyun froze. Head Escort Joe? You mean the Zhou Lihua of the Tiger Escort Agency? Are you insane? How am I supposed to just walk up to her and demand medicine? Tian Xin remained dead calm. Just say I sent you. She'll hand it over. Dongyun shook, partly from anger, partly from disbelief. Make some sense. Man, that sounds ridiculous. Calm down. I can't exactly beat up a wounded guy. After a moment of internal struggle, he sighed and turned to leave. Fine, it's a request from my savior. After all, worst case scenario, she calls me crazy again. Big deal. But what do I say when I get there? Tian Jin's face went serious. Just tell her that person sent you. That's all she needs to hear. Dongyun paused, then sighed deeply as he walked away. Sheesh, I'd have better luck telling her the stable boy sent me. Tian Jin didn't respond. He just sat there, silently circulating his chi. With his tiger thrall now secured within the hidden realm, a blood door manifested before him. Tian Jin stared at it, tension tightening his chest. To open this door, I have to clear the Ren and Du meridians, drain every drop of blood from my body, and replace it with the spiritual elixir. It's risky. But thanks to that death match with the staff demon, my acupoints have finally been blasted open. I've already lost a ton of blood, which is actually perfect. And the missing ingredient, I'll substitute it with the staff demon I just turned into a thrall. He gritted his teeth and clenched his fist tight. The staff demon's agonized screams echoed in the void as a massive surge of blood chi exploded from Tian Jin's body. He shut his eyes, focusing entirely on refining the energy. Sometime later, Dongyun returned, still reeling from what had just happened. He couldn't wrap his head around Zhou Lihua's reaction the moment he mentioned Tian Jin's name. Who is this guy to her? She panicked. What? He's injured? I have to go to him immediately. Then she stopped herself. No. He must have a plan. If he needs anything at all, come find me instantly. Dongyun stared at Tian Jin, completely dumbfounded him. Who exactly are you? Tian Jin opened his eyes and snatched the medicine bag. You're too loud. Guard the door. Do not let a single soul enter until I walk out. If anything goes wrong, report to Head Escort Joe immediately. Dongyun was bursting with questions but didn't dare ask. The door slammed shut right in his face. Tian Jin began channeling the demonic energy again. If I can break through the limitations and reach the metamorphosis stage, no one will be able to trace this back to the demonic arts, except for the creator himself. Hong Gong. I wonder where that old man is right now. Is he being hunted by the Murim Alliance and the Evil Coalition? Or is he still sitting pretty in the Heavenly Demon sect as the right guardian? Or maybe he's out there desperately searching for a successor. Someone like me. Or Yurang. A memory from his past life flashed through his mind, being surrounded by enemies. And the moment he and Yurang first encountered Hong Gong, back in the present, he stepped toward the blood door, but the moment his hand touched the surface, a voice rang out from behind him. You're leaving, aren't you? Looks like you've really made up your mind. Tian Xin caught the item thrown at him as the other man smiled and continued. Safe travels, my brother. Tian Xin pushed the door open with a grin. Take care of yourself, old friend. I don't know how much time passed before I snapped back to reality. Did it work? It seems that Fatty did a hell of a job guarding the door. I pushed the door open and stepped out. Dongyun was sprawled on the ground, sleeping like the dead. But the moment I moved past him, he jolted awake. Tian Xin, you alright? Where are you going and... what is that smell? Tian Xin ignored him and kept walking. He had successfully broken through to the first stage of metamorphosis. This was the legendary state of perfection that martial artists spent their lives dreaming of. Now that the preparations are complete, should I move straight to the next phase? After the Black Dao Gang and the Zhao family manor, my third target for revenge is the overlord of Anhui City. The peak of the five great families, the Nangong family. The scene shifts to the Hujing sect. Voices echoed from inside the room. The Nangong family had sent an invitation. The letter stated that this year, they were holding their grand banquet a little earlier than usual. The person across from him looked shocked. The grand banquet. Why would they invite us to a gathering meant for the major Orthodox sects of Anhui? Hu Yunyan sighed. You know the situation. The representative of Gulai County, Manor Lord Cao, has disappeared. Think of us as the replacements filling that empty seat. Hearing this, the madam grew even more worried. We may be innocent, but the way they look at us, it won't be pleasant. He nodded in agreement. Perhaps. The martial arts world is a place where power does the talking. If you're weak, you just have to swallow the injustice by it, no matter how innocent you are. Besides, standing before a colossal mountain like the Nangong family, we are utterly powerless. The madam tried to comfort him. Husband, don't worry too much. By the way, have you heard the news? I heard that the golden daughter of the Nangong family, who is studying at the Dengtian Academy, is about to return. He looked surprised. You mean the sword flower, Lady Nangong Yu? The madam nodded. Exactly. I heard the other wives whispering that the real purpose of this banquet is for the Nangong family to show off their talented daughter. They want to use this chance to debut her to the world and brag about her abilities. He burst into laughter. If that's truly their only goal, then that's actually good news. If it's just to watch someone brag about their daughter, I'd happily attend 1,000 times. Honestly speaking, our Yu-Rang is absolutely not inferior to that non-gong miss in any way. The madam looked puzzled. Why do you say that? Husband, he sighed. I'm just feeling emotional. Our little Yu-Rang, from her appearance and talent to her character, she lacks nothing. The only thing holding her back is her useless parents. We must push her forward, give her the chance to grow before it's too late. As Yu-Rang's father, I am truly ashamed. Saying that, he raised his cup and downed it in one go. Just then, Yu-Rang rushed in from outside, breathless. Father, mother. The sect leader looked over, confused but fond. My precious treasure. Hearing you call us like that reminds me of the old days. It's so nice. Yu-Rang cut him off. Now isn't the time for that. I have something I need to show you both. They stared at the object in her hand, completely stunned. It was an acceptance letter from the Dung Tian Academy. Oh my heavens, look at this intelligence, virtue, physique. Perfect scores in everything. Our treasure passed as the top scholar. This is wonderful news. We need to throw a huge banquet to celebrate, Yu-Rang asked worriedly. Father, mother, what about the tuition fees? He shouted with intense seriousness. Don't you worry about such nonsense. Even if I have to rip out every pillar of this sect and sell them, I will get the money for your education. Her mother chimed in. Exactly. Don't worry about a thing. Just focus on your studies. Yu-Rang reached behind her back. That's not it. Immediately after, she placed a heavy bag of gold on the floor in front of them. Both parents were terrified by the sight of the bag. How is this possible? What is this? Yu-Rang smiled at them. You two don't need to stress anymore. I've brought back enough money. Before long, the sky turned bright with the morning sun. Yu-Rang and Tian Xin stood by the stream, admiring the view. She looked at the young man before her, her heart filled with emotion. It's so strange. Ever since Tian Xin arrived, everything has gone smoothly in the most mysterious way. She walked over to him and teased, My little lucky charm, I haven't seen your face at all lately. Where have you been wandering off to? And we haven't met for a few days, but you seem different somehow. Tian Xin remained silent, giving no response. His lack of reaction annoyed her. Hey, brat, where's your soul floating off to? What are you thinking about that? You can't even answer me. Tian Xin frowned and replied, I was just lost in thought. In his heart, he thought darkly. I'm thinking of how to turn the Nangong family into a chaotic mess. His mind unconsciously drifted back to Yu-Rang's words from his past life. Back then, one of the elders of the Nangong family colluded with the Zhao family manor and the Black Dao gang to cover up the Hujing sect case, causing the sect to fall into ruin while suffering injustice. The Nangong family, they possess enough power to crush any force they desire. The Nangong family is a colossal power, granted full autonomy within the city of Anhui. That authority comes with a price. They are obligated to police disputes between other sects to keep the peace. But rot exists even within the mighty Nangong family. They turn a blind eye to the filthy schemes brewing among the mid and lower tier factions, all for a bribe. Even the Nangong elders, those old monsters, stained their hands with blood during the Jing Lake sect massacre. They were just one of the countless enemies who hunted him down and drove a sword through his heart in his past life. The memory darkens his expression. Just then, Yu-Rang asks, Are the stable boys still giving you a hard time? Before Tian Xin can answer, she cuts herself off. A simple warning won't be enough to scare them, will it? This can't go on. Hey, Tian Xin, do you want to leave this place with me? The offer leaves him stunned. She doesn't keep him guessing. I'll let you in on a secret. I've been accepted into the Ascending Heavens Academy. The words trigger a memory from his past life. Yu-Rang said the exact same thing back then, but the ending was far more tragic. In that life, she said, I didn't just pass, I was the top scorer, but I can't afford the tuition, so I have to give it up. If I could have gone there, my life would have been so different. But now, Yu-Rang is beaming, her joy impossible to hide. I'm going to the Ascending Heavens Academy. I'll build connections, learn everything I can, and come back to rebuild our family into something powerful. And Tian Xin, you're quiet and honest, but you're talented. Why don't you come with me? Life at the academy has to be better than rotting away here. A faint smile touches Tian Xin's lips as he reflects. The dream she couldn't achieve in my last life. Once I handle this current mess, she'll be able to fly on her own. Yu-Rang stares at him, eyes wide with anticipation. You're coming, right? Instead of agreeing, he mutters, I'll have to see how things go. Yu-Rang pouts instantly. Well, don't play hard to get. I'm just going to take that as a yes. The academy's a long way off. If you have loose ends to tie up, you'd better do it fast. You didn't lend money to anyone or anything silly like that, did you? Tian Xin replies coldly. I have a debt to collect. Her face flushes red with excitement and she shouts, A debt. Someone owes you money, then go get it. Take back everything that belongs to you. You hear me? Wait, I'll come with you. I'll make sure they pay up every last cent. Tian Xin stands up, his eyes hardening. Oh, don't worry. I intend to collect every bit of it, from their wealth to their last drop of blood. I'm taking it all. The scene shifts to the Nangong estate, a sprawling, majestic fortress. Carriages and crowds flood through the gates like a waterfall. Jolihua bows respectfully to the hosts. Secmaster, young miss, you must be exhausted from the journey. The father and daughter return the greeting politely. You've worked hard too, head escort Joe. We only made it here this fast thanks to you. Now, let's head inside. Dongyun and the other guards trailing behind are left jaw-dropped. Is this the Nangong family estate? It's massive. And look at the people, handsome men and beautiful women everywhere. The rumors were true. Nangong even hires servants based on their looks. Comparing them to us is just depressing. Suddenly, a commotion breaks out behind them. Tian Xin is swarmed by a group of women. Where did this little brother come from? You're so handsome. Look at those muscles. And you're all sweaty. Here, let big sister wipe that off for you. Tian Xin scowls, finding the whole situation annoying. Dongyun and his crew watch with burning jealousy. That lucky bastard. Wait, didn't I promise to take care of Tian Xin? Dongyun snaps out of it. Right, I gave my word, but when he looks back, Tian Xin has vanished into thin air. In the blink of an eye, Tian Xin appears right next to Dongyun. I'll leave the ladies to you. As Tian Xin slips away, Dongyun freezes, confused. The horde of women charges toward them like a pack of wolves. A gorgeous guy just ran this way. Where did he go? Dongyun flashes his brightest smile. Are you ladies looking for me? Their eyes sharpen into daggers. The hostility is so thick, Dongyun panics. Sorry, never mind. The women scoff and turn away in disgust. Oh, what was that total delusion? Come on, sisters, let's go find the real eye candy. Dongyun stands there, comical tears streaming down his face. Tian Xin, you traitor. The scene shifts. Tian Xin perches on a rooftop, scanning the area. Below him, a loud voice bellows out. What are you idiots standing around for? The banquet is about to start. Get to work, you lazy bums. Just then, a clumsy servant trips and drops something. The manager explodes in rage. You bastard! Are you out of your mind? Do you have any idea how much this slab of meat is worth? You could slice off your own flesh and sell it, and it still wouldn't be worth a fraction of this. Do you understand me, you filthy peasant? After beating the man to a pulp, he exhaled, looking bored and weary. Damn it all. I'm already busy as hell. And now I have to deal with this. What a pain. Get this trash out of my sight. Is the sacrifice for the Blood Oath Alliance properly prepared yet? Another servant hurriedly approached to answer. We humble servants have brought it intact, without draining the blood, just as you ordered, my lord. However, there is a slight problem. The wolf captured for the sacrifice is too large for us to move on our own. The supervisor lashed out with his whip in anger. You incompetent idiots, can't you just grab some random people to help carry it? The servants scrambled away in fear. We understand right away. The supervisor stood there, letting out a cold, irritated snort. Every single one of them is brainless. Just then, he sensed something strange and turned his head to look back. What the? Inside a crate, demonic energy swirled, and a pair of glowing red eyes peered out. The supervisor immediately dropped his whip and gripped the hilt of his sword. Did those bastards bring the sacrifice for the ceremony without checking if it was actually dead? Just wait until you get back here. I'll chop a leg off every single one of you. Can't even enjoy the banquet in peace. Why is my life such a mess? He quickly stepped inside the carriage. Where are you, you damn wolf? But almost immediately, he realized something was wrong. What is this puppy? How is something this small supposed to be a sacrifice? As soon as the words left his mouth, a gigantic wolf growled and lunged at him. The young man panicked, hastily raising his sword. Shit, what kind of wolf is this huge? But he quickly regained his composure and burst into loud laughter. With a wolf this massive, the Blood Oath Alliance will be a tremendous success. I don't know how those idiots managed to snag such a huge prize, but the Patriarch is definitely going to be pleased. But right at that moment, something happened that froze him in place. The wolf was gone. It had vanished from right in front of him. Tian Xin stood behind the curtain, musing aloud. I wonder what the Nangong family estate looks like now. I'm actually quite curious about its internal structure. The supervisor roared in pain as a wire tightened around his neck. You think I'll tell you. The corners of the boy's mouth curled up in amusement. Oh, you don't need to speak. The supervisor's eyes rolled back until only the whites showed, and he lost consciousness, collapsing to the floor. At the same time, the demonic energy around Tian Xin flared up violently. Sure enough, the dead are always more honest than the living. The scene shifts to Dongyun's group. Seriously, we told you we aren't from the Nangong family. We're from the Hujing sect. No matter how much we screamed, those Nangong servants just dragged us here anyway. My apologies. I'll give you some meat and food later. Just please, lend me a hand. We only need help carrying this wolf. Suddenly, the servant looked down at the ground, startled. Where did the martial master go? Another man walked over and urged him on. Why are you just standing there? Hurry up and carry it before we get yelled at again. Although Dongyun didn't want to, he ended up helping with the lifting. Why the hell do we have to do this crap? You better keep your word about the food. And why is this wolf so heavy? Did it just give birth or something? The servant replied that he would reward them with 3 portions of meat, but Dongyun firmly demanded 4, because Tian Xin was with them too. Elsewhere, the grand banquet had already begun. Sword King Nangong Tian sat high above, laughing in boredom. This is utterly tedious. Beside him, The family head, Nangong Pai, spoke up. Father, because of the Zhao Manor massacre, the atmosphere in Anhui is in chaos. At a time like this, if the Sword King were to show his face, wouldn't everything settle down much faster? The old man sighed. That same old tune again, Nangong Pai continued. Moreover, the Zhao Manor is clearly a branch of our Nangong family. Family head Zhao Xiangzi was also a distant relative of Nangong Pangxing, a core member of the Council of Elders. The old man nodded in agreement. I know that. I met that Zhao Xiangzi fellow a few times. He was quite a sharp one. The fact that Zhao Xiangzi was colluding with the Black Dao Gang has been exposed to the entire world. Nangong Pai kept a serious face. As the pillar of the orthodox faction, the Nangong family must ensure we have no shameful spots. Isn't it time for you to make an appearance? The old man remained completely relaxed and indifferent. Those weaklings fight, and a few of them die. What's the big deal? You've always gotten angry over nothing since you were a child. Remember when you were little, every time you lost a cricket fight, you'd stay mad for days. Nangong Pai held his head in helplessness. Father, how can you compare the Zhao Manor and Black Dao Gang situation to cricket fighting? And that was ancient history. Just then, someone stepped forward. Father, grandfather, the arrival was the eldest daughter of the Nangong family, Nangong Yue. It is almost time for the banquet. Nangong Pai lit up the moment he saw her. My proud daughter is here, father. You can see little Yue has grown up a lot, hasn't she? The old man confirmed. Indeed. So, has our little Yue found a decent suitor at the academy yet? Namgung Pai exploded in anger upon hearing this. Father, she's barely grown up. Why are you already discussing marriage? The old man covered his ears, clearly annoyed. You're being too loud. Namgung Yi spoke up as well. Father, grandfather isn't wrong. I need to marry quickly to become useful to our noble family. Namgung Pai panicked upon hearing this. No matter how you look at it, thinking about marriage right now was too rushed. Could it be? Are you secretly seeing some man right now? She shook her head to explain. That's not it at all. However, after I graduate, I can't say for sure. You know it well too. You should start mentally preparing yourself, son. The old man cheerfully reminded him. If our little Yi wants to find a husband, look for someone from far away. Don't pick any of the boring idiots around here. Namgung Pai flatly objected. Absolutely not. Little Yi's husband must be chosen by my own hands before any decision is made. The old man turned away in irritation. Damn it. I bet you'll just drag home some rigid, cookie-cutter clone of yourself, huh? Namgung Pai ignored him and walked over to his daughter. Let's just decide on that. But little Yi, you haven't forgotten, have you? The Blood Oath Alliance ritual is about to begin. She nodded seriously. The Blood Oath Alliance ritual involves taking blood from the neck of a massive, ferocious beast and collecting it in a bronze basin. Then, the participants drink it one by one. It is a sworn brotherhood ceremony performed by families gathering to form an alliance. Namgung Pai reminded her, your duty is to use the clan's holy sword to draw the sacrifice's blood into the basin. That is the most spotlighted role in this event. Namgung Yi nodded. I will do my best to further elevate the prestige of the Namgung family. He waved his hand. All right, then let us go attend the banquet now. Father, please stand up as well. He then noticed something below that old man was at it again. Father, I will take my leave first. After speaking, he called out to remind his daughter, Little Yi, you must not let anyone snatch that sword away. Understood? Namgung Yi looked at the long sword in her hand with confusion and did not reply. Below, the guests were whispering. Isn't it the Tiger Gate invited this time, instead of the Zhao family manor? I thought the Tiger Gate wiped out the Zhao family manor and the Black Dao Gang, but seeing them boldly show up here, that must not be the case. And another person cut in, you crazy fool, try to make some sense. The Tiger Gate has neither money nor power. How could they possibly annihilate the Zhao family manor and the Black Dao Gang? Hu Yanyan heard these mocking insults and was furious, but he had to suppress it. Yu Rang was about to comfort him when another voice rang out. Oh my, why are all your faces so gloomy? Yu Rang and the others immediately turned to look as someone stroked his beard and walked over with a smile. Could it be that you are dissatisfied with the terms written in the Alliance Pact? This old man personally put a lot of effort into creating it. The speaker was Namgung Pangsheng, the grand elder of the Namgung family. Seeing him, the crowd rushed over to suck up to him. The content of the Alliance Pact was as follows. All Orthodox factions present here will join under the banner of the Namgung family. The Namgung family will share a portion of their clan's secret arts with the affiliated factions. In return, these factions must pay a fixed protection fee every quarter. The crowd was secretly annoyed. This old fox has personally shown his face. Fairness. What a joke. They are just a bunch of damn money-grubbing demons. Despite thinking this, they dared not voice any objection, receiving the secret arts of the Namgung family. It truly felt like a dream. Namgung Pangsheng smiled sinisterly. Indeed, this old man thinks so too. But who is this we have here? Isn't this the Tiger Gate leader from the rumors? The Hu father and daughter immediately stood up to bow. Yes, elder. It is truly an honor to meet you like this. Namgung Pangsheng walked over, patted his shoulder, and burst into laughter. What honor. We will be seeing each other often from now on. The incident with the Zhao family manor is truly a pity, isn't it? Hu Yanyan responded, Elder, I swear that my sect had absolutely no connection to the annihilation of the Zhao family manor. Namgung Pongsheng gripped his shoulder harder. I didn't say anything. Did I? I invited you here precisely because I trust you, didn't I? Today's Blood Oath Alliance ritual will be a very good opportunity for the Tiger Gate. If the Tiger Gate becomes stronger after receiving the Namgung sword arts, then paying the protection fee can still be considered a profit, right? By the way, since the marriage with the Zhao family manor has fallen through, what does the young Miss Hu think about marrying into another family? However, not as a main wife, but as a concubine. Young people these days, instead of being the wife of some incompetent young man, I hear they prefer being the concubine of an older, more capable man. Am I right? As he spoke, he reached his hand toward her. Just then, a gust of wind slashed past, accompanied by a sharp sound. What exactly are you doing lurking over there? Namgung Bangsang's face turned pale with terror instantly. The arrival was none other than Patriarch Namgung Pai himself. Namgung Bangsang clicked his tongue internally. The meddlesome pest had finally shown up. He quickly withdrew his hand, smoothing his expression. Oh, nothing out of the ordinary. I simply spotted a familiar face among our distinguished guests and thought I'd exchange a few pleasantries. That is all. Namgung Pai's expression hardened. Whether it is ordinary or not is for me to decide. I asked you a specific question. What are you doing here? Sensing the tension, Namgung Bangsang forced a laugh. My, the Patriarch seems quite on edge with the big event approaching, doesn't he? I was merely offering some sage advice. The Tiger Gate leader had some curiosities regarding the Alliance Pact. Isn't that right, Leader Hu? Terrified of offending an elder? Hu Yuanyan nodded furiously. Yes, exactly as you say. Namgung Bangsang let out a satisfied, boisterous laugh. You see, nothing to worry your head over. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll take my leave. Please, continue your conversation. As he brushed past Hu Yuanyan, he leaned in, dropping a final, veiled threat. We aren't finished with today's topic. We'll continue this another time. Namgung Pai watched him leave in silence, his expression darkening like a storm cloud. After a moment, he sighed heavily. If Elder Bangsang said anything inappropriate actually, knowing him, I am certain he did please allow me to apologize on his behalf. Leader Hu Yuanyan waved his hands in a panic. Oh, heavens no, how could a lowly one like me accept an apology from the Patriarch? Namgung Pai shook his head gently. Nonsense. You are poised to become a steadfast ally of the Namgung clan. It is only right that I smooth over Elder Bangsang's rudeness. I pride myself on upholding proper conduct and honor. Furthermore, our elder spoke disrespectfully to this young lady. I offer my apologies to you as well. Yu Rang immediately bowed in return. It was nothing, truly. I took no offense, my lord. Namgung Pai observed her quietly. So, this is the girl. The rumors say she took first place in the entrance exams for the Ascending Heavens Academy. Her aura is refined, polished like a blade. Perhaps she could become a worthy rival and a good friend to my little Yule. With that thought, a smile touched his lips. Excellent. Hearing you say that puts my mind at ease. He glanced up toward the high platform. Is it time already? Turning to see Namgung Yule approaching, he nodded. Yule, perfect timing. This is the daughter of Leader Hu. Why don't you two introduce yourselves? Namgung Yule offered a polite greeting. A pleasure to meet you. I am Namgung Yule. Across from her, Yurang bowed with equal courtesy. Namgung Yule studied her. So this is the top scorer who shook the academy exams. Meanwhile, Yurang was quietly assessing the famous sword flower of the Namgung clan. Namgung Pai glanced at his daughter. Is everything prepared? Namgung Yule nodded firmly. Yes, father, all is ready. With those words, she drew her blade. Namgung Pai turned to face the crowd. Good, it is time. Upon the central dais, a massive white wolf lay bound and immobilized. The blood oath ceremony had officially begun, slowly ascending the stairs to the peak. The Patriarch turned and clasped his hands, addressing the heroes of Anhui gathered below. I, Namgung Pai, offer my deepest gratitude to you all. The crowd stirred, awestruck by his presence. His internal energy is terrifyingly vast. Namgung Pai's voice boomed across the square. We have all taken up the sword for one reason, our belief in justice and the balance of the martial world. But what is the reality we face? In the north, the unorthodox sects run rampant. The east is plagued by savages, and the west is overrun by the demonic cult yet. The martial alliance, the very shield meant to stop them, grows weaker by the day. That is why, today, starting with this oath, we shall unite as one. The justice and balance preserved by our ancestors will be defended by our hands. The arena erupted into cheers at his declaration, followed immediately by the thunderous boom of ceremonial drums. Namgung Yule stepped forward, cradling her longsword against her chest. Reaching her father, she paused as he smiled and gave the command, Ascend, my daughter. Namgung Yule nodded. With a flash of movement, she executed her footwork technique, soaring to the highest platform in an instant. My blade is the blade of the Namgung clan. Today, I will show these heroes my full strength and bring glory to our name. She raised her long sword high, beginning the ceremonial sword dance. The crowd below watched, mesmerized by the fluidity of her movements. Namgung-yul focused her mind. This is the final stage. I must channel all my power into the point where my blade strikes. Boundless firmament sword, heaven's single ray, she unleashed the strike, the tip of her blade driving straight toward the white wolf's head. Suddenly, a hand burst out from inside the wolf's body. A figure emerged, grinning wildly, and lunged straight at Namgung-yul. She gasped, freezing in shock. In that split second, her father's warning flashed through her mind. She couldn't let anyone take the sword yet. Here she was, helplessly pinned by the throat. It was impossible to process. What the hell just happened? Did a human just crawl out of that wolf's belly? That is completely absurd. No. This suffocating grip was all too real. Wait, where was the holy sword? She looked down, horrified to see it firmly in the stranger's grasp. He immediately pressed the cold blade against her neck. I'm going to seal your pressure points. Struggle, and I'll slice off your ear first. Her panicked scream instantly seized the family head's attention. The crowd below erupted into whispers. What is that? Did something just burst out of the wolf carcass? It looks exactly like a person. Nangong-fi channeled his internal energy, his heart pounding with worry. Yu's internal energy is in total chaos. What in the world happened up there? That is definitely the sheath of the holy sword. On the platform, the stranger shouted, You scumbags of the Nangong clan, listen up. Seeing the scene above, the family head roared in fury. You damn bastard, release my daughter this instant. The stranger ignored him completely, his voice cold. I have 2 demands. But before he could finish, Nangong-fi roared again, cutting him off. You villain, didn't you hear me tell you to release my daughter? Suddenly, Nangong-tian stepped forward. Quiet down, you're too loud, I can't hear a word he's saying. Must you be so impatient? You've been the family head for ages, yet you still haven't fixed that temper. If he wanted to kill Yu, he would have done it already. Clearly, he wants something, which is why he staged this little show. Am I right? The stranger grinned viciously. Smart old man. The patriarch smiled back. You flatter me, young man. The stranger issued a final warning. Good. If anyone else dares to interrupt me, I'll slit this little bitch's throat. Nangong-fi was seething with rage, but dared not make a move. He waited for the terms. As I said, I have 2 conditions. First, today's blood alliance ceremony is void. It's unfair. The Nangong family claims to be the pillar of the orthodox faction, yet you pull such dirty, underhanded tricks. No wonder the righteousness of the martial arts world is so shaky. Second, you must kill the person who created this treaty. If you hand that person over to this altar, I will release this bitch. I promise she won't have a single scratch. Hearing this, Nangong-fi raised his hand. The stranger nodded, allowing him to speak. The head explained, We will amend the treaty to be fair, but killing the person who drafted the terms is out of the question. The stranger let out a cold laugh, cutting him off. Before? You say no. Why not ask the person involved first? Nangong Pangsheng roared in anger. You villain. Do you think the Nangong family will be fooled by your slippery tongue? The stranger stared at him coldly. Just step up here. I'll release the girl. I guarantee she returns in one piece. The elder, of course, refused. You madman. You want a hostage exchange? What are you planning? You're going to ask me to seal my martial arts, aren't you? Say something that actually makes sense. The stranger scoffed. When did I ever ask you to seal your martial arts? The elder was stunned. What? The stranger continued. There's no need for that. Someone like you, I can beat you to death without any handicaps. So quit stalling, you venomous old snake, and drag your ass up here. Nangong Pangsheng shouted, Family head, let me go. I will go up there and save little Yi. The crowd buzzed with gossip again. Is the elder really going up there? His niece's life is at stake, of course. He would go. But Nangong-fi thought differently. We shouldn't listen to that cunning old fox. But Yu is in danger, and if it's Elder Pangsheng... He made up his mind and turned to order. I understand. You go up him. Even though he volunteered, Nangong Pangsheng was blindsided by how easily the head agreed. He gritted his teeth, cursing internally. Seriously, that crazy family head is actually sending me up there. That kid definitely has a plan. Is it safe for me to walk into this? The crowd watched him with admiration, decisive for the sake of his niece. What a sentimental man. That kidnapper has to face an elder of the Nangong family, poor guy. Nangong Pangsheng seethed silently again. These idiots don't know how I really feel. Just then, Nangong Tian shouted loudly. Nangong Pangsheng, you lazy, good-for-nothing bastard. How long do you expect this old man to wait? Get your ass up there. Panicked, Nangong Pangsheng scrambled toward the platform. Yes, Grand Patriarch, I'm going. It had been a long time since things were this entertaining. Though he obeyed, inside he was fuming. Damn it, am I really getting played by a punk like that? It has come to this, so I might as well face it. Even though you're hiding under that animal skin, I can tell you're not even 20 years old yet. Unless you are a supreme master who has achieved rejuvenation to reverse your aging, I will personally end you with my own hands. The boy narrowed his eyes, sizing up the man before him. We finally meet. Nangong Pangsheng, You are at the very top of my kill list, simply because you are related to Zhao Xiangzi. You covered up the massacre of the Hujing sect without a single investigation. You hunted down Hu Yurong to eliminate loose ends, and you're the reason I was critically injured. I wiped out the 5 poison sect, yet you manipulated public opinion to frame me as public enemy number 1 of the entire martial arts world. Remembering this, the boy spoke aloud. I heard from the butchers at the slaughterhouse. You were the one who ordered them to capture these wolves. Right. Nongong Bangsheng nodded without hesitation. That's right, the boy continued. Catching the mother was enough. Why did you have to take the cubs too? The man sneered coldly. Do I need a reason? Dangerous beasts must be pulled up by the roots. Leaving them alive only breeds monsters filled with hatred for humans. The boy sighed, just as I thought. His mind raced. That cruelty hasn't changed a bit. Past life or present, you and I cannot exist under the same sky. Thinking this, he turned to the dead wolf beside him. I'm sorry for dragging you, us to this mess, but that old poisonous snake, I promise I'll drag him down to hell. Suddenly, he struck a pressure point on the back of Nangong Yu's neck. Pinned to the ground, she gritted her teeth. You bastard, doing this right in the middle of the Nangong estate. Do you think you can walk away in one piece? Unexpectedly, he replied. Yes, I can. The crowd's faces turned pale as he leaned down and planted a kiss right on Nangong Yu's lips. But this was no simple kiss, it was something far more dangerous. The moment he let go, a purple aura radiated from her body. Her screams echoed through the air. The Nangong patriarch roared in fury. What the hell did you do? This wasn't part of the deal, the boy replied calmly. I didn't hurt her, I just poisoned her. I kept my promise. With that, he tossed Nangong Yu aside. The crowd below panicked, erupting into chaos once more. The Nangong faction moved instantly, leaping up to catch the falling girl. Her internal energy is scattering. It's a chi-dispersing poison, a toxin even I don't recognize. Who exactly is this stranger? The moment he landed, he bellowed, Get a healer. Now the rest of you, capture that bastard for me. The boy held up a small vial. This is the antidote. If anyone steps onto this altar, or if you, Nangong Bangsheng, try to run this vial shatters instantly. The crowd froze. Someone not daring to move, only cursing impotently from below, ignoring them. The boy reached deep into the wolf carcass and pulled something out. His true weapon. Nangong Bangsheng gasped in horror. That stance. What is your relationship with the golden demon of the evil alliance? The boy raised his weapon, sneering. None of your business. Nangong Bangsheng quickly dodged, then suddenly launched a counterattack. You crazy lunatic. A powerful staff strike slammed down, shattering a massive section of the stone altar. Nangong Bangsheng was shocked again. A single strike had obliterated the platform. I get it now. It was you. You're the one who slaughtered the Zhao Manor and the Black Dao gang. You are Yellow Springs. He swung his sword in retaliation. Tian Xin instantly dropped his staff, drawing 2 daggers in a flash. Nangong Bangsheng was too slow. He took a stab wound. Suppressing the pain, he swung back, but the boy leaped into the air to dodge. Damn it, you little rat, as he cursed. Tian Xin's attack came flying from behind. He barely leaped away in time. Backstabbing. You're a cunning bastard, but you're too obvious. But the moment his feet touched the ground, his face went pale. He had landed right on a trap Tian Xin had set earlier. Watching him scream in agony, the boy scoffed. Focus, old man. Don't you want the antidote? Nangong Bangsheng forced himself to calm down, looking up at the boy with hatred. You coward. Won't fight me fair and square. Just dirty tricks. Tian Xin grabbed his staff again. Coward. Not fair and square. He paused, rubbing his chin in mock thought, then shrugged. So what? Boom! A massive explosion erupted on the altar. The crowd below went into a frenzy. Nangong clan. What are you doing? The altar is collapsing. All warriors protect the patriarch's family. Another group rushed to Nangong Tian for orders, but he just gently waved his hand to stop them. A snot-nosed brat with that kind of martial art. They call him Yellow Springs. The corner of his mouth curled up into a smile. This bastard is actually interesting. Nangong Bangsheng struggles back to his feet, eyes wide with disbelief at the audacity of the boy standing before him. You dare mock me? Do you think I'm some sort of joke to you? You arrogant little brat. Tian Xin stands his ground, watching the incoming attack with terrifying calm. I already told you, old man, I can crush someone of your level with my bare hands. With a casual wave of his arm, Tian Xin swats the elder's attack away like a fly. Nangong Bangsheng is seething inside, his mind teetering on the brink of insanity. His cultivation is terrifyingly high, but his fighting style? It's a complete mess. It's utterly unorthodox. Where the hell did a monster like this crawl out from? And why does he harbor such a blood feud against me? But none of that matters right now. If I don't kill this kid, I'm a dead man walking. Desperation takes over. He swings his blade, unleashing his ultimate technique, boundless sky sword, unhindered, celestial flow. Tian Xin sidesteps the strike with ease, the corners of his mouth twitching upward in a look dripping with pure mockery. The lazy donkey roll, it's a move every self-respecting martial artist is too ashamed to use, but for a lowlife like you, I knew you'd stoop to it. Before the old man can even process the insult, Tian Xin launches another strike. This time, the blade bites deep into Tian Xin's shoulder, spraying fresh blood into the air. But in a split second, he weaponizes it, hardening his own blood into deadly crystals and firing them straight into the wall of sword chi. The old man doesn't even pay attention to the blood droplets, opening his mouth to laugh triumphantly. Just as the crystals tear right through his defenses, boom, an explosion erupts where Tian Xin is standing. In the blink of an eye, the dust settles, and Tian Xin's hand is already clamped tight around the old man's throat. The crowd below is blind to the action, the battlefield completely obscured by smoke. They can only judge the outcome by the terrifying sounds echoing out. Was that Elder Pangxing's voice just now? The smoke is too thick to see anything. Meanwhile, the Nangong clan leader is sweating bullets, terrified for his daughter's life. Xiao Yi, just hold on a little longer, please. Finally, the dust on the battlefield begins to drift away. Tian Xin steps out from the haze. Even in this sorry state, he proves that the Nangong bloodline is no joke, truly dangerous. Opposite him, Nangong Pangxing is on his knees, hacking up blood, completely broken. Tian Xin subconsciously recalls the words of Hong Gong. He who has mastered the blue ghost spear is known as a yaksha. To a normal martial artist, yaksha blood is worse than lethal poison. It scorches and drains any internal energy that doesn't belong to the host. Tian Xin calculates internally. My cultivation is still low, so the effect won't last long. But it's definitely enough to give his system a massive shock. He tosses a small vial onto the ground in front of the old man. Make your choice. Will you give this antidote to your dying granddaughter? Or drink it yourself? Without a millisecond of hesitation, the old man snatches the bottle and pours the entire thing down his own throat. Even Tian Xin is stunned by the sheer selfishness of it. The Nangong clan members down below are frozen in shock. Elder Pangxing. He drank the antidote. How could he do that? The Nangong clan leader's face goes pitch black with rage. Nangong Pangxing. You bastard, you actually dared. The liquid goes down, and Nangong Pangxing lets out a long breath of relief. I survived. As long as I'm not poisoned, I can find a way out of this hellhole. But right then, a voice drips with contempt beside his ear. You absolute fool. That wasn't an antidote. You just drank the poison of the Zhang clan, now rot in the darkness along with all your sins. Blood starts streaming from the old man's eyes as he screams in terror. What? I can't see my eyes. What did you do to me? He screams at the monster, but gets no reply. Suddenly, a chilling cackle echoes right in his ear. You look absolutely pathetic right now. Elder Pangxing. He flinches, panic rising in his voice. Who's there? A spectral figure drifts closer, wrapping around him. How could you forget me so quickly? Do you truly recall nothing? Taking bribes, burying the concubines you beat to death, slaughtering anyone who stood in your way to the elder's seat. Wasn't I the one who handled all of that for you? Nangong Pangxing freezes, realization dawning on him. You're Zhao Xiangzi, but you're dead. The vengeful spirit sneers. Dead. How could I bear to leave you behind all by yourself, after all? Wasn't I the loyal dog who put you on that throne? The old man roars in fury. Loyal dog, don't flatter yourself. Zhao Xiangzi, people like you are nothing more than hunting dogs to be used and discarded. You, the Northern Palace, and every single sect under my command, you're all just dogs in my kennel. The ghost whispers back. True enough, I did endless dirty work for you all those years. And thanks to your grace, I ran into that lunatic and ended up stewed like a bowl of cheap dog meat soup. Pangxing remains obstinate to the end. You brought that on yourself the moment you joined the Blood Oath Alliance. You volunteered to be my dog. So act like a good dog and obey your master. Get the hell down to the underworld. He slashes his blade wildly, cutting the spirit in half, but the ghost just laughs maniacally. You'll be joining me soon enough, Elder Pangxing. It's so very cold and lonely down here. Make sure you're ready. The old man bellows in rage. Who gives a damn what a ghost has to say? Suddenly, he collapses, vomiting a massive mouthful of fresh blood. His vision flickers. Wait. I can see again. What was that just now? Hallucinations. No, from below. Voices called out his name. Nangong Pangxing heard them and screamed. Hey, is anyone there? Help me save me from this lunatic. Can't you hear me? Nangong Pai gritted his teeth in fury. Pangxing, you bastard. You knew that medicine was to save Xiao Yi. How dare you drink it yourself? Sweat poured down the old man's face in terror. I had no choice. The crowd below erupted in accusations. Elder Pangxing, is what you just said true? Does the Nangong family see the Blood Alliance as nothing but hunting dogs? We aren't your pets. And what exactly did you do to the late Zhao Xiangzi? Answer us, the elder stammered, paralyzed with fear. No. Wait. What did I say? Tian Xin's voice cut through the air from behind. When struck by the Zhang clan's poison, your eyes, ears, and nose shut down. But the mouth that keeps working just fine. You've experienced it now. You understand why, don't you? They say the tongue is the root of all evil. That phrase was made for you. Smack. Tian Xin slammed his staff right into the old man's mouth. With that tongue, you painted me as the enemy of the entire Murim. You had my sworn brother hunted down like a dog. You even stabbed us with your own blade. The old man looked confused. Explain, what are you talking about? I never did any of that. Tian Xin swung the staff again. Whack. Oh, you did, but I guess you wouldn't remember. Another blood-curdling scream tore through the air. I don't know you. I don't even know who your sworn brother is. Tian Xin didn't care. He raised the staff again. Doesn't matter if you know. Crack. He shattered the old man's leg. At least, not in this life. A scream of pure agony pierced the heavens. Stop, please. I beg you. The Nangong warriors scrambled up the platform. Tian Xin didn't even turn around. Keeping his back to them, he issued a cold warning. One more step and the old man dies. He may look like a wreck, but he's still my hostage. They froze, faces twisted in helpless rage. The old elder gasped, a glimmer of hope in his voice. So, you're going to let me go? Tian Xin's hand clamped around the man's throat. Not a chance. Blood sprayed into the air. With a casual flick, he tossed the corpse aside like garbage. The body landed with a wet thud right at the feet of the Nangong family. Hu Yurong and her father stood paralyzed in the crowd. Yellow Springs. Was this really just a coincidence? Tian Xin looked down, his gaze locking onto them. Our brother has been avenged. Now, live the life you always wanted. Hu Yurong. A martial artist rushed forward to check Nangong Pangsheng's pulse. He looked up and shook his head. The crowd gasped in disbelief. Nangong Pangsheng was dead. A peak master, slaughtered right in the heart of the Nangong estate. Nangong Pai stepped forward, glaring up at the assassin. Keep your word. You promised. Yellow Springs. Tian Xin narrowed his eyes, calculating. The poison in my blood. It'll only last another half hour. Nangong Yi's poison will clear up soon regardless, but I can't just tell them that. He pulled out a small vial and held it high. Nangong Pai squinted suspiciously. What game are you playing? Everyone knew that bottle contained deadly poison. Are you breaking your oath? Tian Xin calmly poured some of the liquid out. Poison is just medicine in the wrong dosage. Used correctly. It's a cure. You need a microscopic amount. Dip a needle in, and touch it to the tip of the tongue. Oops. Not much left now. Nangong Pai ground his teeth. I can't trust a word he says, but I have no choice. If I don't try, Yer dies. He forced himself to calm down. Fine. I understand. Give it to me, and I'll let you leave alive. Tian Xin gave a cold, mocking laugh. Better catch it fast, before it all leaks out. He tossed the vial backward straight into the crater left by their earlier battle. The Nangong family members turned deathly pale. Nangong Pai roared, Find that antidote. We must save Yitter medical team. Search the crater. Everyone else kill Yellow Springs. Tian Xin smirked to himself. The Nangong family's heavenly net. Huh? Dangerous, sure. But if I was afraid of getting caught, I wouldn't be here. He leaped, gliding down like the wind. Below, Nangong Pai channeled his chi and screamed curses. Tian Xin pointed back over his shoulder. You might want to check that hole. That's the last drop of the cure. Nangong Pai glanced at his dying daughter, teeth grinding together. If she dies, I will chase you to the depths of hell and kill you myself. Abandoning the chase, he turned and sprinted toward the crater. But Tian Xin wasn't free yet. The Nangong warriors closed in from all sides. Stop right there. You think you can terrorize the Nangong family and leave alive, Low Springs? Tian Xin didn't even blink. He unleashed his movement technique, blurring past them. The warriors froze in shock. Good God. What kind of Qinggong is that? Unbelievable. Is the power of the Yellow Springs Trinity really this terrifying? The vengeful spirits screamed in rage as Tian Xin trampled over them. You dare use us as stepping stones. We curse you. Tian Xin just let out a quiet breath of relief. Almost there. Just the Nangong clan's highest wall left. Once I clear that, I'm home free. But the moment his feet touched the roof, he froze cold. A vision flashed before his eyes, his own head, sliced clean off his neck. What the hell was that? One more step and I'm dead meat. Trusting his gut, he instantly scrambled back. Damn it, I thought this old freak had washed his hands of the martial world in my past life. What is he doing here? This is a disaster. The former leader of the Wulin Alliance, the living legend of the era, the Sword King, Nangong Tian. The old man stood on the wall, sword on his shoulder, grinning. You've got good instincts, kid. Tian Xin's face went pale with tension. If I had taken one more step, my head would be rolling on the ground. That's the heart sword for you. The old man called out. But hey, brat, why haven't you run away yet? Tian Xin replied calmly. Didn't you just leak that killing intent on purpose, huh? And what about you, old man? Why aren't you moving? As the words left his mouth, the old man vanished instantly. Well, I guess I can go now. Tian Xin watched him land next to his granddaughter, completely baffled. Is this really the time to be chilling out? Then, his brow furrowed. The old man was channeling chi directly into the girl's body. A mouthful of fresh blood sprayed from her lips. Only then did the old man withdraw his hand, looking satisfied. All better now. Ho-ho, servants. Take Nangong Yu away. He turned his gaze back to Tian Xin. Now, shall we? Tian Xin's mind raced, sweat beading on his forehead. With that kind of absolute power, he could have cured Nangong Yu and blocked all my attacks from the start. But he didn't. He waited until now to show himself. Realizing this, he spoke up. If you wanted me dead, you would have killed me instantly. You're after something else, aren't you? The old man let out an intrigued sound. Oh, sharp kid. Very sharp. Tian Xin gritted his teeth. Thanks for the compliment, old man. Suddenly, the Nangong warrior surrounded him. Seize that wretch, capture him alive, and bring him before the patriarch. That was the command from the Nangong clan leader, who had just stormed out of the manor. But right then, Nangong Tian raised a hand to stop them. The clan leader looked confused. Father, what are you doing? The old man replied casually. You lot already let the brat slip away. I'm the one who caught him. Don't spoil my fun. It's been nearly 20 years. No. Wait. 35 years since I've had a moment this interesting. You need to learn some filial piety, son. As you can see, in the Nangong clan, my word is the law. He turned to Tian Xin. Right, little friend. Even the emperor has to respect my opinion first. Speaking of which, maybe I should enact a new law right now. What should it be? Ah, I know. Without my permission, no one leaves the Nangong estate. Well, Tian Xin's thoughts raced. No one leaves. If I weave through the inner courts and hide in the slums, my escape chance is barely 30%. It's a gamble, but if he forces my hand, I have no choice. Making up his mind, he shouted, And what exactly do I have to do to get your permission? The old man raised his hand. I'll give you 5 moves. I won't use my sword, I'll only dodge. Want to try and struggle a bit? The crowd gasped in shock. The world's greatest sword king. Offering a handicap, only 5 moves. Does he really rate the Yellow Springs Trinity that highly? Tian Xin's face hardened. 5 moves. He wants me to go all out and entertain him. Is that it? Fine, I have no reason to refuse. He channeled his energy, and dark demonic chi flared up around him like a bonfire. Nangong Tian grinned, his interest peaking. My eyes didn't deceive me. Come on, boy, use everything you have and amuse me. In a flash, Tian Xin unleashed the first move. The old man just stood there, calm as a still lake, waiting. Suddenly, blue light flared in the old man's eyes. Tian Xin's attack struck and was instantly swatted away like a fly. The deflected blast smashed into the altar, collapsing it and sending the crowd into a panic. Tian Xin landed softly, but the arm holding his staff was trembling violently. Seeing his hesitation, the old man tilted his head. What's the matter? Tian Xin barked back, furious. Didn't you say you wouldn't use your sword? The old man blinked, genuinely surprised. Huh, no way. Did I? Ah. When you reach my level, using a sword feels more natural than using my own hands and feet. It just moves on its own. Wait until you're my age. Kid, you'll understand. Besides, my memory isn't what it used to be. Tian Xin scoffed internally. Is playing the senile old fool really better than admitting you broke a promise? The old man kept rambling. Anyway, that first attack was just a probe, right? Tell you what, how about I pretend that one didn't count? Tian Xin raised his staff again, flatly refusing the pity. The old man's lips curled up, overflowing with excitement. I knew you were going to say that. All right then, I'll block your attacks without even drawing my sword. 4 moves left. Let's see what you've got. Tian Xin's expression turns deadly serious. Sword King, Nangong Tian is an unshakable fortress, a legend that cheap tricks can't scratch. He has to pour every ounce of his soul into this one strike, pushing his body past its absolute breaking point. The sheer pressure of the annihilation technique catches the old man off guard. If he had known something this heavy was coming, he never would have offered a handicapped Tian Xin staff thrust straight for his dantian. But against all odds, the old monster dodges it. He sidesteps with ease, snatching the staff midair. With a simple shove, he sends Tian Xin stumbling backward. Still, the attack wasn't useless. The Sword King's sleeve is completely shredded. He grits his teeth and grins. They say even brushing sleeves is a sign of fate. Looks like you and I have quite the lingering connection, don't we? Tian Xin lets out a cold snort. If it's a lingering connection with you, I'll pass. The old man waves his hand dismissively. Refuse all you want, kid, but the bond is already there. 3 moves left. Tian Xin tightens his grip once more. Demonic energy boils around him, surging like a tide as he unleashes another god-tier strike. The old man hunches over, analyzing in split seconds. If the last move was a sharp spear, this one feels like a colossal siege hammer crashing down. Even so, he raises his hand to block it head-on. Bam. The recoil is brutal blood sprays from Tian Xin's arm like rain. He's blasted backward again, feet carving deep furrows into the earth. The old man clutches his own wrist, feeling the numbness spread. Great. My joints are going to ache every time it rains now. Kid, have you spent time on the battlefield? That's staff technique. No, that's spear arts. Did you pick this up slaughtering foreign tribes on the front lines? It is definitely military style, but not the refined art of a general. That is the raw, bloody technique of a foot soldier. You've taken the most basic movements and drilled them to a realm of absolute perfection, purely for killing. That is a state someone your age should not be able to reach. Tian Xin breaks out in a cold sweat. He saw through everything, seriously. What a tough old bastard. The old man raises his hand again. 2 moves left, although I might have to retract my offer of going easy on that first one. So, what do you say? Tian Xin spins his staff, rejecting the pity. Not necessary. The old man laughs, his eyes lighting up. Ha, this is getting more interesting by the second. Demonic energy spirals violently around Tian Xin's staff. He stomps down, shattering the stone tiles beneath his feet. Hands clamping down on the staff, jaws set tight, he launches the fourth technique. The old man crosses both arms in front of his chest to block. Another head-on collision, both of them are straining, muscles trembling against the impact, teeth grinding against teeth. Finally, the force explodes and they separate. The old man rubs his wrist. A beautiful sweeping the 1,000 armies. My bones are actually vibrating. Tian Xin clicks his tongue in regret. Damn, just a little more. It's only now that the crowd notices where Nangang Tian is standing. He moved. Half a step. Oh my god. The Sword King. One of the Supreme Masters. The man closest to being #1 in the world. That kid actually forced him back half a step. Is that even possible? Who on earth is that young man? Nangang Tian waves his hand, cutting through the noise. Now, there is only one move left. Put everything you have into this last one, kid. Tian Xin crouches, swinging the staff behind him to build momentum. A vengeful spirit manifests, swirling ominously around the tip of the weapon. Tian Xin smiles inwardly. I finally tamed you. Nangang Pangsheng. With the second stage of annihilation activated, the old man's face finally tightens with tension. He ramps up his internal energy to the max. I knew it. What that kid showed before wasn't his full power. Tian Xin crouches low and vanishes, empowered by the vengeful spirit. His blunt staff transforms into a lethal spear point. Watching the fifth strike hurtle toward his skull, the old man feels a spike of genuine panic. This is bad. I have no choice. He is forced to draw his sword. Clang. Two overwhelming forces collide. A terrifying shockwave blasts out in every direction. The spectators are blown back, shaken to their cores. It's like a hurricane just touched down. Everyone, get back. Inside the eye of the storm, Tian Xin thinks, as expected. The Sword King's internal energy is a monster. But that energy, I'll use it, borrow the force to redirect the force, instead of fighting it. He rides the explosion, flipping backward to escape. Seeing this, Nangang Pai lands instantly beside the old man. Should I give chase, father? The old man shakes his head. Let him go. That brat planned to use the last move to escape from the very beginning. Even if we caught him, I have no face left to look at him. The first time might have been carelessness, but that last one definitely wasn't. Nangang Pai looks confused. Father, why did you draw your sword at the very end? It looked like instinct the first time, but that final strike? Why? Just then, the old man's sword snaps in half and clatters to the ground. Because I was afraid I was going to die. I wanted to live. Did I have another choice? If he had been holding a real spear instead of a staff, I would be a corpse right now. That black bamboo staff, it must be a trophy from killing the staff demon. There is no doubt, the staff demon died under that kid's spear. Drawing my blade at the last second wasn't a mistake. Staying alive matters more than saving face, doesn't it? I went back on my word 3 times, only to get thrashed by some nameless brat. This old man has absolutely no dignity left to face the heroes of Manhwa. It's a complete disgrace. Nangang Pai immediately clasped his hands and addressed the crowd with a booming voice. Someone, clean up this mess immediately. The Nangang family will take full responsibility and compensate everyone for today's damages. My deepest apologies. I hope you all can find it in your hearts to forgive us. The banquet ends here. With that, the cleanup began instantly. Nangang Tian and his son retreated to a higher vantage point to speak privately. The tri-title Yellow Springs. A master with no known sect, no origin, and a face no one has seen. Just who exactly is he? Nangang Tian sighed. His fighting style is messy. Like a street thug, his spear skills are third-rate garbage. Yet, his internal energy is supreme. His movement technique is god tier, and his strategic mind has reached the realm of perfection. Truly an incomprehensible monster. Nangang Pai buried his face in his hands, letting him escape. The Nangang family's reputation has hit rock bottom. Nangang Tian, however, asked calmly, "Be honest, though, you're actually happy about this, aren't you?" Nangang Pai looked up, confused. "How could I possibly be happy?" his father explained. "That thorn in your side, Pangsheng, got his skull crushed. He's dead. He used his seat on the Elder Council to oppose the family head at every turn. He was a veteran from my era, so you couldn't touch him." Nangang Pai stammered. That's not it, father." "How can you say that?" Nangang Tian remained unfazed. "In all things, one must learn to twist the situation to their advantage. It is a fact that Pangsheng committed many atrocities. Investigate them thoroughly, then repair all the damage he caused. Use this opportunity, pin every single mistake of our family right on Pangsheng's corpse. Do that, and the Nangang family's prestige will become even stronger than the face we lost today. Pangsheng, he is the sacrificial lamb for this Blood Oath Alliance." "By the way, how is Xiao Yi?" Nangang Pai replied. "Thanks to you purging the poison, father, she should be awake by now." The old man smiled. "Then leave it to Xiao Yi. Tell her she must capture that Yellow Springs fellow alive and bring him back." Nanggong Pai was stunned. Why would you have her do such a thing? The old man snapped. You dare ask why she's unmarried, yet she let a strange man hold her. He even kissed her on the lips. Her marriage prospects are ruined. She has to go drag her own husband back here. Nanggong Pai protested. Come on, father. What era are we living in? Besides, I've told you 1,000 times, let me handle finding a son-in-law. The old man scowled. You're planning to find one from the orthodox sects again, aren't you? Stop limiting your alliances and knowledge to just the orthodox world. That is the only way to survive the unpredictable storms of the martial world. Nanggong Pai scoffed. The Nanggong family is a 1,000-year-old great tree. How could a few small waves possibly shake us? The storms of the martial world are nothing to us. The old man narrowed his eyes. Do you honestly believe that, seeing his son's arrogance, he held his head and sighed in sheer disappointment? The martial world is like the ocean. When it's calm, you can fish and sip wine. But when the storm rises, it rages with uncontrollable fury. Xinjiang is already stirring. Hearing this, Nanggong Pai's face instantly went dark. Xinjiang, isn't that the headquarters of the demon sect? The old man warned. Prepare yourself for the upheaval. A massive tsunami is about to crash down. Scene shifts to the Tiger Peace sect. Tian Xin placed something on Yurang's table. Brother Tiger, your vengeance has been exacted. Now, for the sake of the Tiger Peace sect, I must take my leave. Suddenly, a memory flashback. Ugh, nothing but mud. Sleeping in a place like this is just cruel. I knew it. That's why I brought this. Yurang approached, smiling, his arms full of straw. Having a place to lay your head is a luxury enough. Spread it out and get some sleep. We have a battle to fight tomorrow. Tian Xin spread the straw out, only to scream in terror at the swarm of insects nesting inside. It's full of lice. What kind of garbage did you pick up? Recalling the memory, the corners of Tian Xin's mouth curled up uncontrollably. He stepped forward and lit a stick of incense. Don't suffer in your next life. Live well, okay. With that, he slipped out through the window. He quickly made his way back to the stables. Just as he was about to slip out the back exit, a voice called out from behind. Stop right there! Tian Xin froze, his eyes widening. Several figures emerged from the shadows, their voices sharp. Don't make me laugh. Did you really think you could just walk away from here safely? Tian Xin grimaced, gritting his teeth. Damn it! This is going to be a pain. The figures revealed themselves. It was Dong Yuan and his crew. Planning to leave without saying a word. You really are a bastard. Fine, go then. Don't expect me to see you off. Tian Xin simply gave a nod. Dong Yuan called out again. Where are you headed? Tian Xin pulled his hat low. West. The chubby one couldn't hold back his tears anymore. Fine, just go, you heartless jerk. Take care of yourself, you hear? Tian Xin, stay healthy. If you ever run out of places to go, the Tiger Peace sect will always welcome you back. Where else could a guy like you go? Anyway, I'll be waiting. So you better come back. Tian Xin's lips curl into a slight smile as he leaps onto the roof. Dong Yuan keeps shouting after him. Hey, you didn't tell me which way is west. Tian Xin stares into the distance, replying simply, Henan. Very quickly, the sky turns dark. Walking along, Tian Xin suddenly halts and looks up at the sky in confusion. A voice calls his name from behind. Yurang is sprinting toward him, completely out of breath. Tian Xin turns to wait for her. She quickly pulls out a token. The truth is revealed. Tian Xin is the legendary 3-title Yellow Springs. Xiaofeng is usually friendly with everyone, but there are exactly 2 people that horse is terrified of. One is Tian Xin, the other is the person who gave the gold for wound medicine on that rainy day. Also, it really smells like horse manure here. Seeing his expression, she hurriedly explains, I'm just joking. It was just suddenly pouring rain like a waterfall. That's all. She steps in front of him, her voice turning serious. Thank you, Tian Xin, for the moxa treatment, for driving the carriage, and for listening to my troubles. The Zhao family manor, the Black Dao gang, the Kun Demon matters, and even this incident with the Nanggong family. Oh, I know you intervened in all of it. I know everything now. I'm both grateful and curious why you helped me, but if I asked, you wouldn't hide it, would you? He doesn't answer, simply turning to leave. She rushes forward, grabbing his sleeve, trying desperately to hold him back. Don't go. We're family. Tian Xin's expression remains unmoved. He decisively pulls his sleeve free. Yurang stands there, stunned and lost. You're really going leaving for real? Only then does he reply, take care of yourself, But Yurang steps forward again. This time, she hugs him tight from behind and plants a passionate kiss on him. We must meet again. Dawn breaks quickly. Deep in the forest, a group of people is moving at high speed. It is the Nanggong family's Purple Moon Search Squad, led by Nanggong Yu herself. She squeezes her eyes shut, recalling her grandfather's command, bring 3-title Yellow Springs back to me, alive. Her face is ice cold, radiating killing intent. I don't understand why grandfather gave that order, but it works for me. I will catch him, tie him up, and whip him until I'm satisfied. Just like that first time, I'll beat him until he's covered in blood. Just then, a subordinate approaches to report. Miss, we found his tracks. Nanggong Yu blushes involuntarily, her body trembling with a twisted mix of excitement and rage. Fine, No distractions. I'll bet everything I have, whatever means necessary. I will make him kneel before me. The scene shifts to a different location, where a stream flows peacefully. Tian Xin stands on a cliff, looking down at the boats below. Been a while. This is Ba Market, the floating market formed by gathering ships. As he steps down, vendors shout, holding up massive fish. Catfish here 6 feet long, definitely an official from the Dragon Palace. Fresh lotus seeds, full baskets. Come have some vermicelli, only 3 coppers a bowl. Tian Xin sits at a table and orders vermicelli with tofu and shrimp paste. The owner glares at the item he places on the table. What is that, a marten pelt? I only take cash. No money, no food. Tian Xin shoots him a cold glare. Suddenly, a little girl runs up from nowhere. Here's the money. Is this enough? The owner sneers at the 2 silver coins on the table. This is only worth 2 coppers. You know, the girl makes a mocking face at him. Soon, a steaming bowl is served. She asks Tian Xin, "Big brother, are you a beggar?" He shakes his head. No. The girl looks confused. But mom says anyone with no money is a beggar. Annoyed, but restraining himself, he eats and asks, "What's your name, kid?" The girl replies, "I'm Bailey Lian. Where are you going, beggar brother?" When Tian Xin says he's going to Henan, she asks where that is. It's where the martial arts alliance is. There's someone there I need to kill. The girl gasps in realization. So you're from the Jianghu? Tian Xin is puzzled. You know about that? She nods. Yeah, mom told me. She said the tyrant guild who brought us here are Jianghu people too. Jianghu people are really strong. Tian Xin exhales softly. I see. Thanks to you, I had a full meal. I'll pay for this. The girl refuses the pelt immediately. No need. The pelt is worth way more than the food. Are you stupid, beggar brother? Tian Xin replies. I still have to pay. The girl suddenly puts on a pitiful expression. Then do me a favor. If you meet any Jianghu uncles, please ask them to help me. My mom is sick. Please let her go ashore. She said only Jianghu people can talk to each other. As they are talking, the owner runs over, screaming. The girl frowns, annoyed. I already paid. What's wrong now? But the owner has an arrow piercing right through his head. He was running for help, not money. In the distance, a boat approaches with loud laughter ringing out. Hand over everything of value. Surrender obediently and I'll spare your lives. Tian Xin glances back, frowning. First mountain bandits, and now water bandits. Give me a break. You said your name was Bailey Lian, right? I'm handling your request right now. The little girl looked puzzled. Big brother, what are you doing? Tian Xin calmly drew his long staff. What am I doing? Having a little chat. Of course. Nearby, a captured man started screaming at the top of his lungs. Let me go. I want to speak to the manager. A giant, scarred man sat there, laughing coldly at the captive. I am Bai Togong Sun He of the Changjiang Water Fortress. You have something to say to me. The old man nodded. That's right. Unlike those fishermen, I manage this wharf. Don't you know the Badao Guild is backing us if you touch us? The guild won't let this slide. Before he could finish, blood sprayed like rain. Oh, they'll let it slide perfectly fine. The Badao Guild already sold you all out to me. The captives fell into a panic. Sold out us, that's impossible. We've almost paid off our debts. They promised we could go home after this year, my lord. Please have mercy. We have to get back to land. The scarred giant scoffed. Men, it's too noisy. Shut them up. Instantly, a brutal massacre began. The giant sat there laughing maniacally. Just a bunch of commoners with no martial arts, yet their blood is still so bright red, isn't it? Suddenly, his eyes narrowed. The water in front of him was trembling violently. Bailey Lian walked up behind Tian Xin, sobbing uncontrollably as she looked at the corpses floating in the water. 2 pirates stepped forward to block them. Hey kid, it's a little late to be shopping at the market. Since you've stepped into Ba Market, both you and that little girl belong to us now. They lunged at him, but Tian Xin simply waved his hand and blood sprayed everywhere. Just common pirates, yet your blood is surprisingly red too, isn't it? He was throwing the leader's own words right back at him. The leader coldly barked orders. This guy isn't simple. Everyone, attack at once. Archers, fire turn him into a hedgehog. Tian Xin didn't flinch. He whipped the cloth in his hand, blocking every single arrow. In a split second, he unleashed a storm of hidden weapons right back at them. Then, he vanished into thin air. 3 archers dropped dead instantly. The leader's face turned serious. Who exactly are you? Tian Xin didn't bother to answer. The leader waved his hand dismissively. Fine, I won't ask who you are. How about we just go our separate ways? If we fight, one of us is definitely going to die. Better to save our strength. Don't you think? Tian Xin looked at him with pure contempt. The one dying is you. As for whether I get a scratch? Care to make a bet? That remark completely enraged him. You lunatic! You're a newborn calf who doesn't fear the tiger. I'll make you regret this. He raised his hand. But before he could move, his long saber was knocked flying. He stared at his deformed, shattered wrist in absolute terror. Tian Xin scoffed from across the deck, regretting it already. You pirates really are something else. Even if you drown, your big mouths would still float to the top. The leader was still staring at his hand in shock. One move. He shattered my wrist in one move. I'm a first-rate master, yet I'm being destroyed like this. He must be a supreme master. I have to run. But where could he go? Begging won't work. Was this his only option? Desperate, he pulled something out and threw it at the ground. A signal flare shot straight into the sky. Seeing it launch successfully, he laughed triumphantly. Lord Tiantou and his men are on their way. If you run now, you might just make it. To his surprise, Tian Xin remained completely calm. No need to worry. I'll just kill you before they get here. Hearing this, the bandit kicked out. I knew you'd say that, but do you think it will be that easy? Tian Xin saw him trying to destroy the bridge and scoffed. If that's your plan, you're too predictable. But as he spoke, his eyes suddenly narrowed. The bandit laughed maniacally. You idiot, I saw you with this brat earlier. One more step and she dies. What are you going to do now? Drop your weapon and kneel, or watch her die. Tian Xin looked at the little girl with a dead serious expression. Bilian, I'm sorry. I can't let these pirates go just to save you. The girl smiled, understanding perfectly. I understand, big brother. Just please, help my mom get to shore. Tian Xin nodded solemnly. I promise. Seeing him step forward, the bandit began to panic. What are you doing? Are you actually going to kill me? Tian Xin answered coldly. Go ahead, kill her, but the price you pay will be the most agonizing death this world has ever seen. I'll start with your fingers and toes. I will slice your flesh off, piece by thin piece, until nothing is left but your torso. Then I'll pull out every tooth, gouge out your eyes, slice off your nose and ears, burn your tongue with fire, and throw what's left into a pigsty. You will beg for death, but I won't let you die. He screamed in terror. If you do that, Lord Tiantou, no, the camp master won't let you get away with it. The entire Xiedao alliance will hunt you down. But as he spoke, his entire body shook violently, crushed by the terrifying aura radiating from Tian Xin. Her grip tightens before Bilian finally relaxes her hold. If I let him go and surrender, what are you going to do to me? Tian Xin raises his staff. I told you already, get in the pigsty. Save the crying and explaining for later. I'm a merchant from the Ba market. When those pirates from the Yangtze water fortress tried to rob and kill us, a nameless wanderer stepped in and saved our lives. Another witness interrupts, his black spear technique. It was ghostly, absolutely unpredictable. A young man shoots back. What kind of nonsense is that? It was a long whip, not a spear. Either way, I'm only alive thanks to that old man. Wait, wasn't it a teenager? Not an old man? I had my head down, so I didn't see clearly. But wasn't he 9 feet tall, watching the chaotic debate? Nangong Yu and her group feel a headache coming on and sigh in helplessness. The survivors' testimonies are a complete mess. Just who exactly is this Yellow Springs? Judging by what he did at the Zhao family manor, he's certainly not from the orthodox factions. Yet, he clearly crushed the Black Dao gang and saved the commoners suffering under them. And now, he saved the merchants at Ba Market, too. Is he a hero? Or a villain? As she wonders, a memory flashes in her mind the moment she was forcibly kissed. Her face instantly flushes red. No, he's definitely a villain. He has to be a villain. Just as the words leave her mouth, Bilian steps up to argue. He's not a villain. Beggar brother isn't a bad guy. He's a really good person. Suddenly, a subordinate approaches from behind to interrupt. Young miss, someone is approaching from above. They raise their heads and, sure enough, spot movement. The leader glances down and issues a command. Halt, we rest here for a moment. Nangong Yu observes them, lost in thought. That uniform. They're from the Martial Arts Alliance. She and the Nangong group immediately clasp their hands in respect. This junior pays respects to Master Langhua of the Mount Hua sect. This is Master Langhua of Mount Hua, real name Fei Wuji, currently the head instructor at the Ascending Heaven Academy. He looks at her with curiosity. Long time no see. What are you doing out here, child? Nangong Yu replies respectfully. I returned home during the school break, but some unexpected matters arose. I intend to return to the academy immediately after resolving them. But instructor, what brings you to a remote place like this? Fei Wuji answers gravely. We are hunting a public enemy of the martial arts world, the vile criminal who raped and murdered his junior sister before fleeing to join the demonic cult. We've confirmed he is in this very region. Nangong Yu frowns. You mean the deadly plum blossom? He nods in confirmation. Correct. This is classified information, but we are severely short-handed. If it isn't too much trouble, could the Nangong family lend us a hand? She declines politely. My current mission comes directly from my grandfather. I would need to ask the main house for permission first. Fei Wuji sighs and waves his hand. If the Sword King himself gave the order, then it cannot be helped. Everyone, listen up. The criminal is nearby. We must hurry before innocent blood is spilled. With that, they quickly depart. Once they are gone, a subordinate approaches. Miss, we need to head downstream regardless. The target's trail leads from Bay Market in that direction. Nangong Yu strokes her chin, deep in thought. The public enemy that the Alliance Is chasing the deadly plum blossom, and the movements of yellow springs coincide in a very strange way. We must consider the possibility that the one who slaughtered the captain of the Yangtze water fortress was actually the deadly plum blossom. Decided, she issues her orders. For now, we follow them, since our paths align. However, if we find the deadly plum blossom first, do not engage. Report immediately to the Martial Arts Alliance. And one more thing, remember this well. Our true target is still Yellow Springs. Meanwhile, Tian Xin sits before a lone grave. Suddenly, a figure emerges from the bushes behind him. Oh, a guest arrived before me. Pardon the intrusion, but are you paying respects? Whose grave is this? Tian Xin shakes his head, claiming ignorance. The stranger looks puzzled. Then why offer prayers? Tian Xin shrugs. It just looked lonely sitting here all by itself with no visitors. I felt bad for it, that's all. The stranger listens, the corner of his mouth curling up. Is that so? Then allow me to pay my respects as well. He bows his head with apparent sincerity, showing such respect to a stranger's grave. That is true righteousness, and such righteousness deserves a reward. Take this blade. It is a treasure worth 100 gold taels. Tian Xin's lips curve into a faint smirk. If I were the type to accept 100 gold sword, I would have already chopped off your head to collect 1,000 gold bounty. Draw your weapon, deadly plum blossom. That evening, Wu Ziyan throws a celebratory feast at the escort agency, raising a glass to Chief Zhou Lihua. The hero of our journey has returned. The crowd erupts into cheers, the atmosphere buzzing with joy. Tian Xin is there too. Of course, sitting with the stable hands, a few men, emboldened by drink, swagger over to intimidate him. Who do you think you are? Getting to escort the young miss, only veteran guards are allowed that honor. Say something. Kid, with that attitude, don't expect a single bite. No food for an arrogant dog like you. Suddenly, a sharp voice cuts through the noise. What do you think you're doing? I told you not to bully Tian Xin. Seeing Yu Rang marching over with murder in her eyes, those punks instantly folded, acting as obedient as puppies. We were just bringing him some food. That's all. Yu Rang sighed in helpless exasperation, too tired to even scold them. Ignoring the liars, she picked up a pastry and gently fed it to Tian Xin herself. I've told you 1,000 times, if anyone bullies you, you come to me immediately. Look at you. You haven't been eating properly, have you? Are they starving you if this happens again? I need to know. Just then, the sectmaster waved his hand, summoning her over. Before leaving, Yu Rang made sure to add, I have to go now. Make sure you fill your stomach, okay? But the moment she turned her back, that pack of wolves reverted straight to their old ways. Why the hell does the young miss care so much about you? You're just a little brat compared to us. Think you're special just because you've got a pretty face? Well, since the young miss ordered it, we have to feed you. Here, let me help you with that. He sneered, flinging a spoonful of food straight at Tian Xin's face. But Tian Xin didn't even blink. With a slight tilt of his head, he effortlessly dodged the mess. Seeing this, Dong Yun's face turned purple with rage. What do you dare dodge me, you little bastard? I'll beat that attitude right out of you. But no matter how frantically he flung the food, Tian Xin bobbed and weaved, evading every single strike with casual ease. This only fueled their frustration, and they unleashed a torrent of curses. Meanwhile, Yu Rang had returned to her father's side. The sectmaster turned to the guests beside him. Thanks to head escort Zhou, our journey was smooth and successful. We can finally breathe a sigh of relief. And the madam chimed in warmly. Please, do not worry about the families of the escorts who sacrificed their lives. I swear on my honor that we will take full responsibility for them until the very end. Zhou Lihua clasped her hands politely. Please, put your minds at ease regarding the fallen. I was merely doing my duty. Just then, Yu Rang approached with a flagon of wine. You've done excellent work. Here, let me pour you a drink. Zhou Lihua didn't stand on ceremony and accepted the gesture immediately. As she poured, Yu Rang asked, By the way, about the guest with the golden token mentioned in the letter. Lihua's eyes lit up. I was just about to ask about that myself. I don't see him anywhere. Is it possible that the great hero hasn't arrived at the Hu Jing sect yet? Yu Rang nodded solemnly. It seems so. We've already prepared everything to welcome him as a guest of honor. Hearing this, Lihua held her head and sighed deeply. I see. That man was a true master of the spear. Despite his youth, that young hero radiated overwhelming power, single-handedly wiping out those bandits from the Black Dao gang. I desperately wanted to thank him properly, but it seems fate isn't on my side today. She lamented inwardly. If only I could recruit him. Not only would our strength soar, but my subordinates wouldn't have to die needlessly anymore. Suddenly, Yu Rang reached out and warmly grasped her hand. Lady Lihua, you've done so much for the Hu Jing sect. Please, let go of your burdens for tonight and just drink. It's because you gave your all that everyone here can smile like this. Lihua was startled by the kindness. She slowly set her wine cup down. Scanning the crowd, she thought. She's right. We fought to protect this peaceful everyday life. But just as she raised the cup to her lips, she sensed something. Her head snapped toward Tian Xin's table. And there, his face locked instantly into her sights. It's him. Seeing her gaze, Tian Xin raised a finger to his lips, a signal to stay quiet. Lihua was so shocked and excited she was practically drooling. Why on earth is he sitting over there? She wondered. Suddenly, Tian Xin's voice echoed in her mind. It's not time yet. Revealing the golden token now is premature, so please, keep my secret. Meanwhile, Dongyuan and his lackeys, exhausted from their frantic food-throwing tantrum, collapsed in a heap. Realizing throwing food was useless, they decided to rush Tian Xin and beat him into a pulp, but before they could even lay a finger on him, they froze. Tian Xin calmly shifted his gaze toward, the side, where a man was tapping a bone against his bowl. Hey, keep it down while people are eating, will you? Dongyuan snorted, completely unafraid. You got a problem. A beggar like you should be on your knees thanking the sectmaster for letting you sit here. You stink. You know that, finish your slop and get lost. The stranger gave a cold laugh, raising his hand. Oh my, aren't we feisty? Guess I'll have to teach you kids a lesson. Dongyuan, stubborn as a mule, lunged forward to fight. What the hell are you mumbling about? But suddenly, a hand shot out and blocked him. Even the stranger looked surprised by the intervention. What the? Seeing Tian Xin stand up to block the blow, the stranger whistled in appreciation. Impressive. You actually sensed my killing intent, didn't you? Not bad. You've got serious potential, kid. Hey, fatty, you better spend the rest of your life thanking that boy. He just saved your life. As the stranger walked away, Dongyuan stood there, dumbfounded. What the hell is wrong with that guy? Is he crazy? Ignoring him, the stranger strode into the center of the courtyard and shouted, Listen up, everyone. Thank you for inviting me to such a magnificent feast. However, it's a shame the wine here is so cold. So, allow me to pour a cup of hot wine for all of you. He slammed both hands onto the table, channeling a massive surge of chi. Sensing the danger, the guards instantly drew their swords in alarm. True to his word, hot wine began to flow. Perhaps a little too hot. Oops, looks like I overheated it. The wine, it just evaporated. Li Hua turned deathly pale, cold sweat breaking out on her forehead. Did he just vaporize the alcohol with nothing but his internal energy? This man, he's reached the peak realm at the very least. The patriarch, his face tight with tension, demanded, Who exactly are you, monk? The stranger shook his head. I'm no monk. I just happened to bring this wooden fish along. He smirked. It's a bit late, but allow me to introduce myself. I am the Autumn Gold Demon of the Evil Tao Alliance, though, back in the day, the world knew me by another name, the Staff Demon. My name is Qiugong Long. Qiugong Long, a name that once terrified the martial forest. He was one of the twin demons who dominated the era. But after clashing with the Evil Tao Alliance and suffering a crushing defeat against their alliance leader, he was forced to serve under them. His main job, hunting down clans that missed their tribute payments, and the price for resistance, total annihilation. The patriarch gasped, his voice trembling. Is he the one Zhou Lihua gave the golden token to? Lihua immediately denied it from the side. No. Master, I've never seen this man before in my life. The staff demon casually poured himself a drink. It's been a long time since I visited Anhui province. I heard the Black Dao gang and the Zhao clan were crushed. Yet here you are, throwing a lavish feast. Makes one suspicious, doesn't it? Hearing this, Li Hua and the others went even paler, terror filling their eyes. The patriarch stammered, It's just a coincidence. We had nothing to do with that incident. The staff demon cut in. If that's true, then you all might live to finish your meal tonight. He turned his gaze. I've heard the rumors, but seeing it with my own eyes, the young Mrs. Beauty truly is peerless. Yurang stiffened as his eyes locked onto her. What are you talking about? He stroked his chin, staring her down. They say the Zhao clan met their end because they lusted after you, looking at you now. I believe it. A face like that could easily destroy two sects. Truly. Spectacular. Ha ha ha. So tell me, how does it feel to be born with such a pretty face, yet be completely useless? As he spoke, he spat right in her face, a face that deserves to be spat on. Do you understand your place now? The patriarch and his men drew their swords in a panic. What is the meaning of this? If you're here to start a fight, don't think we'll just sit back and take it. The staff demon laughed mockingly. You actually think you can defeat me? The patriarch's face hardened with resolve. Winning isn't the point. My daughter was just humiliated right in front of me. Take this outside. Don't drag the innocent into this. The staff demon waved him off dismissively. No need. We'll settle this right here, right now. Both men began to flare their internal energy. Just then, Yurang spoke up. Father, please, sheathe your sword. She calmly wiped the spit from her face, walked over, and poured wine for the staff demon. Thank you for the lesson, my lord. Allow this humble girl to return the favor. Her actions caught him completely off guard. She pours me wine after I spat in her face. A daughter of a martial family bowing down like this? How pathetic. Yurang didn't get angry. Instead, she clasped her hands respectfully. I am not lowering myself or swallowing my pride. My lord has reached the peak realm. You are a master among masters. I am merely showing the respect due from a junior to a senior. The staff demon burst into laughter again. So you're saying a grandmaster like me is bullying a little girl? Is that it? Yurang replied softly. My speech is clumsy, my lord. You may have misunderstood him. I am simply trying to show my sincerity, so please, accept this cup. She bowed deeply, her posture full of sincere respect. This sight made the staff demon throw his head back and laugh like a madman. He snatched the cup and downed it in one gulp. Then, he turned to the patriarch and clasped his hands. I was rude first. I asked the sect leader to sheath his sword. I'm giving you face, sect leader. Let's end this here. The old man had no choice but to compromise and put away his weapon. The staff demon then turned to leave with a swagger. Your daughter is sharp. If I were 50 years younger, I would have married her myself. Ah, right, I almost forgot the most important thing. Since the Black Dao gang is destroyed, I can't collect the tribute they owe. If I go back empty-handed, my reputation will take a hit. The patriarch grit his teeth. What are you implying? The demon stepped closer, getting right in his face. Fine. I'll be blunt. I don't care who wiped out the Black Dao gang or the Zhao clan. I just need to bring that money back. I gave you face earlier, sect leader. Now it's your turn to give me some face. The patriarch scowled, his jaw tight. Are you planning to extort tribute from orthodox clans now? The staff demon chuckled. Tribute, no. Think of it as funeral money. The patriarch pressed. And do you plan to extract this funeral money from the Namgung clan as well? The demon sighed loudly. The Namgung clan? Are you joking? If I went there, those old monsters would kill me before I saw a single coin. But didn't your Hujin Gate make a fortune from this recent trip? That should be just enough to cover the funeral costs for the unlucky Black Dao gang. Don't you think? The patriarch, seeing no other option, had to agree. Fine. Just give us some time. Before the word settled, the staff demon slammed his staff into the ground, sending stone fragments flying. Listen closely. Time is money. The patriarch clutched his head in helplessness. If I provoke the staff demon, Hujin Gate will be wiped off the map tonight. Even if I beg the Namgung clan for help, there's no guarantee they'll act. In the end, compromise is my only option. With that resigning thought, he orders his men to fetch the payment. Moments later, a heavy sack of gold is brought out. The staff demon snatches the gold and silver without a shred of hesitation. The family head stares him down. I've paid you what you wanted. Now leave my family alone. Do not touch a single soul here. The staff demon's eyes sparkle as he inspects the loot. Come on now, he chuckles. I'm not some heartless monster, am I? I can be reasonable. Though, for someone voluntarily handing over funeral money, you're leaking quite a bit of killing intent there. He carelessly tosses a gold ingot toward Yurang. Whatever. I'll happily accept this fortune. Consider that gold my apology for spitting in your face earlier. She doesn't dare utter a word. She bows her head instantly, accepting the insult along with the gold. The family head trembles with rage, utterly humiliated. The staff demon just smirks, adjusts his hat, and turns to leave. I'll be off then. No need to see me out. The moonlight is bright enough for me to find my way. A while later, near the stables, two young men sit gossiping. Did you hear the escort say that old man is strong enough to slaughter every single person here? We're lucky money was enough to make him leave. That is terrifying. Suddenly, Dongyun comes sprinting toward them, panting heavily. Where is he? The two stable hands light up when they see the roast chicken in his arms. Big brother, what's that you've got there? The banquet is over, so we thought we'd missed out on the food. You're the only one who looks out for us, big brother. Dongyun kicks out in frustration. Not the food. You idiots, I'm asking where Tian Xin is. The two recoil in fear. We don't know. We haven't seen him at all. Dongyun stands there, his expression darkening as he recalls a warning. Hey, fatty, you should spend the rest of your life being grateful to that kid. He just saved your life. The memory hits him, and he wails out, my beloved Tian Xin, where have you gone? Meanwhile, Tian Xin is standing guard in front of a suspension bridge, waiting. Soon enough, the staff demon emerges from the forest, humming a tune. The demon freezes mid-step. He sees Tian Xin, the boy's radiating a terrifying, oppressive killing intent. Realizing it's just the boy, the staff demon scoffs with disdain. I thought some monster was blocking my path. Turns out, it's just a human. You're that stable boy from earlier, aren't you? Why are you following me? Is this about the girl I humiliated? Is she your sweetheart? If you're here for revenge, you're barking up the wrong tree. Sure, I spat in her face, but she didn't take the bait. I gained absolutely nothing from insulting her. So why bother seeking revenge? Tian Xin finally breaks his silence. You pretend to be some enlightened master, but you're just a blabbermouth. You've said enough now, hand over the money. As Tian Xin charges, the demon doesn't flinch. Instead, he bursts into laughter. It's been 40 years since I last heard someone say that first. It was the Lord of the Evil Alliance. And now, it's you. With a casual swing of his staff, he deflects the boy's attack. Tian Xin stares in shock at his own arm. It's trembling from the sheer recoil of the clash. The staff demon looks surprised. That's a decent spear you've got. Does it have a name? Tian Xin shakes his head calmly. No! The staff demon sneers, spinning his long staff. A weapon that could be the heirloom of a small clan, yet it has no name. You know, this used to be a spear too. But after the tip snapped off, I started using it as a staff. It's forged from black iron, so it's incredibly sturdy. A bit heavy, though. If it still had its tip, I'd be known as the spear demon instead of the staff demon. Such a pity. Tian Xin settles back into his combat stance. No matter how sturdy it is, it's just a broken spear. Just like a wild dog that's lost its fangs exactly like you. With that, he launches another assault. The staff demon's expression tightens. The playfulness is gone. Flash. Tian Xin's spear tip grazes the demon's hat, shattering a piece of it and drawing a line of fresh blood. Furious, the demon spins his staff wildly. A duel between men, and you strike without warning, you coward. He roars, launching a counterattack. Tian Xin uses the bridge's railing to vault away, spinning in midair to unleash a volley of hidden weapons. The staff demon is caught off guard. What now, Iron Caltrops? Typical cowardly tricks, but that won't work on me. As the demon dodges the projectiles, Tian Xin dashes past and spits at him. The demon evades effortlessly. You're more stubborn than I thought. Are you still upset that I spat on that girl, you stupid brat? Ignoring the taunt, Tian Xin attacks again, his leg sweeping up behind the demon's head. That glob of spit is caught by Tian Xin's foot, and the kick slams it directly into the demon's face. The demon recoils in horror. What the hell? Corrosive saliva. Are you from the Tang clan of Sichuan? Who the hell are you? My eyes, I can't see. Seizing the moment, Tian Xin lunges forward. The blinded staff demon can only swing his weapon wildly in front of him. One of his eyes has been rendered completely blind by the toxin. Tian Xin draws a hammer and smashes it toward the demon's legs. After a fierce exchange of blows, the two fighters finally disengage. The staff demon, finally realizing he's taken a real hit, gets serious. Looks like I underestimated the Hush Lake sect. To think a lowly stable boy could be this powerful. Those were his words, but his mind screams a different story. No, a beast like this wasn't raised by the Hush Lake sect. It's too different. That martial art isn't from the orthodox path. He abandons all dignity and forms his entire body as a living weapon. With that thought, his expression hardens. He barks. I don't care what hellhole you crawled out of. Come at me, brat. I'll drag you right back down to the underworld. Tian Xin snaps his wrist, pulling his spear back as a violent surge of killing intent erupts from his body. Enough talk. Both fighters lock in, channeling their energy with deadly seriousness. Silence falls, broken only by rustling leaves. Then boom, they strike simultaneously. The weapons collide head-on, warping the bridge beneath them as they push against each other with crushing force. Tian Xin suddenly drops his stance, shifting his weight onto the spear shaft, then thrusts the tip straight for his opponent's head. Impressed, the demon grins. Not bad. Take my left arm if you want, but I'm taking your heart in exchange. His staff slams into Tian Xin's chest, impaling him. Blood sprays wildly from the wound. Unable to withstand the blow, the boy collapses to his knees. The staff demon stands over him, sighing. Victory is mine, though I paid a steep price. Unbelievable. To think a brat like you could push me this far. Were you raised by devils? Suddenly, he coughs up blood. His internal injuries are worse than he thought. I can't let this kid live. I need to end him, right now. But before he can strike, terror grips him. Tian Xin, surrounded by surging demonic energy, slowly rises to his feet. The demon screams in disbelief. What the hell is this? How are you still standing? Is it for money? Is it pride? Fighting spirit love? What is driving you like this? Tian Xin, his face twisted like a demon, spits out one word, fear. The answer leaves the staff demon stunned, completely confused. Tian Xin glares at him. Do you know where the dead go? The aura around him shifts, growing darker. He looks down, and the shadows seem to twist into an endless abyss, echoing with the agonizing screams of damned souls. They howl from the depths, beckoning Tian Xin to come down and join their eternal, twisted gambling games. He locks eyes with his opponent again. The more I think about what waits for me, the more I refuse to die. The staff demon laughs, shaking his head. What kind of nightmare are you hallucinating? He acts cool, but inside, he's rattled. He keeps getting back up out of pure terror of dying. What the hell has he seen? Actually, I don't want to know, but I'm not ready to die yet. Not here. I'm going to live a long life and die peacefully in my sleep. He swings his staff at Tian Xin again. The boy blocks but gets knocked back, blood trickling from his lips. Both of them are fighting with a desperate, primal will to survive. After a brutal exchange, flesh tears and blood splatters, the staff demon clicks his tongue. Oh, I'm out cursing. Lost 2 more fingers. But you're finished, kid. Suddenly, he freezes in horror. Hidden needles have embedded themselves in his face. He howls in agony. You bastard! What did you just spit at me? Tian Xin's face is a mask of savagery. Your funeral starts now. Blinded by pain, the staff demon can't open his eyes. With his vision gone, he swings his staff wildly, frantically trying to keep the boy away. What is he doing? He's taken so many fatal hits, yet he keeps coming. What kind of monster are you? Helplessness turns to panic. He screams in desperation and hurls his staff at Tian Xin with everything he has. Die, you devil! Tian Xin freezes, caught off guard. Blood pours down his face like rain. He tried to dodge, but the staff grazed his skull, opening a deep gash. Seeing his attack connect, the staff demon burst into laughter. I won, the victory is mine. Just lie down and die. I'll end your misery right now. But against all logic, Tian Xin remained standing. The demon's face goes pale. He can still move. I just crushed his skull. Suddenly, the bridge beneath him gives way. He realizes too late. He took the hit on purpose to cut the bridge supports. Trying to drag me down with you, you bastard! But Tian Xin's cold voice cuts through the chaos. No, you're dying alone. The staff demon doesn't hesitate. He bolts for the shore, but right behind him, leaking killing intent, Tian Xin gives chase. Panic seizes the demon's heart. What is this feeling? Don't tell me that kid is still alive. Even if he is still breathing, there is no way he can counterattack in that state. It is definitely just the final thrashing of a dying beast. But he isn't something that can be measured by common sense. This is impossible. As the thought crossed his mind, he turned back only to see Tian Xin standing there like a demon god, radiating overwhelming killing intent. The moment the staff demon turned his head, the spear tip was already driving straight into his skull. Only now did he regret his arrogant words from earlier. I thought you were human, but you are actually a monster. No, a Grim Reaper. The brutal battle had finally decided its victor. Although Tian Xin had won, he was currently in freefall toward the bottom of the abyss. He grit his teeth, desperately tightening his grip on the rope tethered to the spear, which was still embedded in the staff demon's corpse. Only now did he begin to take stock of his injuries. My body's a wreck. Skull split open, internal organs shattered, and it feels like my leg is snapped too. But as long as I don't die, I can recover. Because I possess the Chang-Gui spring demon art. Old Hong Gong once explained how he could continue his vendetta, no matter how tattered his body became. It was all thanks to the Chang-Gui spring demon art. It's the only reason I've managed to claw my life back from the brink. Should I actually be grateful to that old man? Right at that moment, the staff demon above, who should have been dead, suddenly twitched. A bolt of heavenly lightning suddenly struck his body from the sky. Because of the impact, his corpse, which had been anchored there, began to slip loose. In an instant, Tian Xin's final anchor was gone. He watched in disbelief, blurting out, "You have got to be kidding me." Both of them, along with a landslide of rocks, plummeted downward. Tian Xin struggled desperately, dodging the falling debris while trying to preserve his life. Moments later, he was buried beneath a pile of rubble. Countless vengeful spirits emerged once again, laughing gleefully. "Pathetic wretch, buried alive, just die already. Die, you bastard." Among the vengeful spirits, one seemed to be the staff demon himself. Tian Xin glanced over as the spirit growled, raising its phantom staff high and stepping toward him. Seeing this, Tian Xin immediately called out his name. The first time, the opponent showed no reaction and continued to advance. The second time was no different. The more he called, the more it enraged the spirit, making it grit its teeth in fury. The staff demon closed the distance instantly, swinging his staff down at Tian Xin's head. Right then, the third call rang out. The moment the words left his lips, the surrounding aura shifted. The staff demon's movement froze. His vengeful spirit slowly dissipated, eventually turning into nourishment that merged into Tian Xin's body. After a moment, he opened his eyes again, letting out a cold snort as he thought, "A Changguai that reached the peak realm, taming this one will take time. But consider it a fine elixir to break through from the Kug stage to Yiwu. Now, time to return." But the moment he tried to stand, he collapsed again. Damn it. My leg. When I get back, I have to focus on healing my body first. Opening the Ren and Du meridians will have to wait. Next, he pulled the rope to retrieve his weapon, but his spear shaft had snapped, leaving only the blade attached. He couldn't help but feel a pang of regret. It couldn't even serve as a walking stick anymore. Just as disappointment set in, his eyes fell upon the staff demon's weapon. He immediately went over and picked it up, heavy. If this had been a complete spear, I would be the one dead right now. To avoid mad dogs like this in the future, I need to sharpen my spear tip until it is razor sharp. The rain continued to pour relentlessly. Tian Xin, carrying his spoils of war, limped back through the streets, one leg still drenched in fresh blood. After who knows how long, he finally reached his limit, leaning against a wall in agonizing pain. Even though I absorbed power from the Changguai, my body hasn't fully recovered. This is the first time since returning to the past that I've struggled this much. Truly miserable. Every raindrop feels like a needle piercing my skin. Both the staff and the bag feel impossibly heavy. I'll just close my eyes for a moment. His mind unconsciously drifted to Yu Rang. It seems you have your own private matters. I won't pry, but as long as you remain in the Hujing sect, we are family. Suddenly, he snapped. Back to reality.